keeping it 100. Yeah. What's happening? What's happening, Bear Mates? What's up? Funkster here. Larry Burner, Funkster Jones here. And I'm repping TTNL, the Tape Never Lies Network. But I want to let you all know, the views that I have are not their views. They're my views and my own opinion. But I rep them because I love them. DDP, Draft Dr. Phil, my brother. Shayne the Smartest Man, my brother. Claudio the Barber, Chris Jackal, Lady Bear, Sheri, Ivan. Man, everybody associated, my man Chris Jackal, everybody associated with TTNL, the Tape Never Lies Network. The best, the Chicago Bears coverage. On and cracking. None other like it. I'm telling you, it's the best. Woo! The draft time's coming up. They're going to have the draft coverage for you. Man, nobody breaks it down like
around
Draft Dr. Phil and Shayne the Smartest Man. And Patreon, the Patreon channel, $7 a month. Man, stats, facts, X's and O's, the breakdowns of quarterbacks, breakdowns of the running back, breakdowns of just the team members, just breaking it down. The Tape Never Lies Network. Join today. Patreon, $7 a month. Be the best $7 of bear money you could ever spend. And I think it's time to upgrade my gear. It's time to upgrade my gear, so we'll be doing that next week. Upgrade my gear for the new year. Woo! Caleb Williams, baby. Caleb Williams. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Caleb Williams, come on to Chicago. Make us a winner, baby. I know you can do it. Oh! Yes! TTNL, the Tape Never Lies Network. Larry Burner, Funkster Jones. Repping the best in the business. Just keeping it 100. Yo!
The Tape Never Lies Network.
The Tape Never Lies. Tape Never Lies.
Starts now.
The Tape Never Lies.
Draft Dr. Phil and the Smartest Man.
Keeping it 100.
Keep it 100.
So chase greatness and start understanding that he's gonna make everybody better.
The Tape Never Lies.
I don't want to see your tape breakdowns if you cannot show me things that are negative about a guy that's on your current team.
Hashtag chase greatness. Hashtag take that.
Keep it 100.
Because I'll make this one more time clear. Caden Whitlow, cut it. He is the best quarterback I have ever scouted on tape.
The Chicago Bears select.
Guess who's back? The two dudes that kept it real. Dynamic duo that you love, the Smartest Man and Dr. Phil. Breaking down the film, never a problem, kick it straight. Most shows focus on stats, we focus on the tape. We keep it in 100, never running east or west. We coming with that truth, cause that's what our fans expect. Cut off the fake and anchor, moving forward to be free. But don't you worry, Shayne's got the dumbest tweets. It ain't no secret, Phil and Shayne got some haters. But now they're moused up like the true and now and latest. Debaters, straws get kicked like Coach Tabor. Cuts had to be made, we added a barber moderator. Up and down, boys got you double checking. Sad sacks strolling like a fool drunk texting. Flexing on the truth cause you know they'll never change. Real, recognize real, that's what you get with Phil and Shayne.
Give me some fucking names in 2 fucking games.
Fuck a play or a captain, all of the unfair. The tape never lies, the truth you see. We laugh, we analyze, so there's no babies like Maybelline. Straight to the truth with acumen and facts. We got a stat nerd, but he's not just giving nerd stats. Car crash, big impact like trip stat. Every Wednesday night you got the Smartest Man Phil back. Now we know you're smiling like a fat kid with fun dip. We're back better than ever and we keeping it 100.
Keep it 100, baby. Keep it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the Smartest Man.
100.
Keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the Smartest
Keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100. Down there. I don't know if that right foot actually touched the ground.
Keep it 100.
Keeping
Yo, what is good, TTNL family? It's Sheri, aka Lady Bear, and it's Wednesday night, so y'all know what it is. Of course, as usual, we got a good show for y'all tonight. We got my girl Courtney Cronin of ESPN joining us. And also we have 22 days left for, as Shayne calls it, the grown man's Christmas, and getting our new franchise quarterback, Caleb Williams. So, guys, of course, we're going to talk about all of that with Courtney, all the draft talk. I know y'all are looking forward to it. So, without further ado, I'm going to bring in the guys that y'all really came to see. Shayne, the smartest man, Marsaw, and Mr. Joel, Dr. Phil.
What's up, Sheri?
Oh, she was so fast in that intro. It's almost like she's busy tonight or something.
Yeah, she's got plans, bro. She's got
to go.
I hate you guys.
I got to go. I got to go.
I hate you guys. I love you, but I hate y'all.
We do have a special message to kick off the show, though, Phil.
Oh my God, Greg, droning on and on. Shut the fuck up, dude.
You love that, bro.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
Yes, grown man Christmas.
Yeah.
It's been dragging on and on, dude. When's it gonna get here, bro? Hey, I have it all figured out, man.
Yeah, crack the code.
Crack the code.
Crack the code. Wasn't right, but I'm gonna.
You guys are wrong, dude.
I'm gonna recrack it, and I'll probably be right that time. Can't make it up.
Yeah, so funny. I know some people get so upset. They get all up in their feelings, but they were the ones that had the feelings.
Yeah.
They puffed out their chests, and now they're conspiring ways to flip-flop their analysis of Justin Fields.
They should have just stuck with this.
Motherfucking fact show at TTNL. Those t-shirts, man. Alex Acevedo's dragging his feet like a Fields fan going to Pittsburgh. Come on. Let's get the t-shirt out.
Not as many people jump ship as we thought they would.
Oh my God. The screenshots that I get sent it's I don't know if it's like hysterical or it's insanity. And these people have to be locked up.
It's both.
There's people that really took a lot of shots at me and Shayne that have gone into hiding.
Oh man, that's why I'm barely on.
From Shayne.
Yeah, I retweet some stuff, but I don't tweet too much. It isn't worth it.
Yeah.
It's great. It's a strange new land out there.
It's a whole new world.
Jesus, that was quick.
She just bounced, bro. The doorbell.
Knock. Yeah.
She was out.
He's like, fuck this. We got
fuck this.
You've been live for 9 minutes.
Well, Sheri, we loved you tonight. Oh, there
she is. Stand, y'all.
So is there anybody? Are you alone right now?
Yes.
I don't believe you because I saw you talking to somebody when
Why
you were in the green
room.
Because
that night when all the world.
Did you see that? Did you see that Mama Sheri donated to
Deb?
Oh shoot! I'm sorry.
Deb.
I forgot. I gotta donate. Let me get my life together.
I texted Deb. I'm like, Aunt Sheri said, "Fuck them kids." Her mom made up for it though. Right,
I gotta thank all those people that. Thank you for putting that. All the people that are donating to the cause here. My league president, tackle, and flag, as well as my former defensive coordinator. Now he's the head coach. All of these guys had their doubts. True story about the fan reach of TTNL. I go, listen, if anybody is going to help us, I believe the TTNL family. I go, so we were at a board meeting last night and they gave me a standing ovation. How about that? And they have big plans for everybody that's donated to the cause. Oh, I got an itch in my ear. Donated to the cause there. Give.thetapeneverlies.com. April 30th will be the last day that we can accept, as we have to purchase this. So we are really, any dollar counts. So if you can find it in your heart, as we rebrand and buy these jerseys and helmets and pads and really get these kids ready for the fall season, which big news, Shane. Should I break it here or for our patrons?
Do I know the big news?
No, I forgot to tell you today.
Text it to me and then I'll decide.
Okay, yes. I will text it to you. But big news on that point, where something you brought up in the past was brought up to the board. Possibility, if we raise enough money, that could be a way.
We'll
So
keep it. We'll keep it for the patrons because that's where it's going to go to. Yeah,
exactly. Big news there. Big news. So I'll break that tomorrow when we go live on our Patreon channel and break down a couple centers, Shane, tomorrow night.
Yeah.
You have to pivot that way.
And what time will that be, Phil?
That'll be about 8 o'clock.
Okay. Just
tomorrow.
Just so I know, so I can make sure that show is actually going to happen.
Make a thumbnail and everything. We're going on the flow. I'm going to be going on vacation next week. So
we'll have a little bit different look here.
Different look.
Keeping it 100. You might see an old face.
Okay.
So while y'all doing it, I got to shout out my friend that just donated. He contributed to the super chat. That's my bestie. So
there he is, Darnell.
What's
the
up,
kids
Darnell?
need you, not us, Darnell. We got to get you over to the Give.
I send them the link.
Please.
Is this a real bestie or is this
this is like my high school. Y'all
bestie code for something?
No,
huh?
this is
Darnell.
Yeah.
What's up? Thank you so much, Darnell. $9.99. Love those kids. Send them the link though.
I will.
We'll refund them there. Give.thetapeneverlies.com if you're listening on the podcast version. April 30th. I've had many people, and we get it. Shane and I get it. Trust me. We have kids and lives, but $25 makes a difference. Christ, Mike Hall gave $4.50. Every dollar counts, every cent. He gave $5. I'm just breaking his balls. He also got booted off Facebook today. I got a bone to pick with this motherfucker. How are you blaming Shane and Phil for blocking you out?
Yeah.
Think we would ever do that?
We definitely hit you up before we did that.
We would confront you, Mike, if you did anything. We only bounced.
You might have to limit him for being a Notre Dame fan, though. Maybe that's push back a little bit.
Notre Dame fan. Like, speaking of Notre Dame fans, shout out to Chris Zorich. His birthday was last week.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to my buddy Chris.
71 years young.
He was. I didn't say it on the show. I can't believe I put it in the video.
Yeah.
Right, Sheri? It was in the video.
Yeah.
So he owes me an apology.
Is this the first time Sheri's ever had headphones on?
Yes. I've never seen this. Those aren't headphones. Those are connected to the doorbell.
Oh, yeah. Honey,
if anyone rings,
you tell those two to shut the fuck up. Daddy's home. Chicken wings are here.
Oh my gosh.
God. I heard that Twitter is unhinged. Michelle K is saying it too.
Oh yeah,
Bears Twitter is in another stratosphere.
It is. Like I said, I make a couple comments here and there, but I tend to sit out most of them nowadays. It's crazy. I'm just counting down the days to the draft and Caleb Williams, and then the real fun starts.
The draft
after pick number 1 is signed, sealed, and delivered. Caleb Williams, who was in Chicago last night and today, by the way.
Oh my God! You don't.
That doesn't mean
say.
anything, guys. Still
You
doesn't mean
don't.
anything.
You don't say.
According to my sources and my code cracking ability, they took him to Justin Fields' favorite restaurant.
Did someone?
Is that just coincidence, Phil? Is that just coincidence?
Dude,
they were sending a message. We don't want you at number 1. We're trading for Justin. Justin's the haul.
I mean, or we can do Jaden Daniels as people are predicting.
Come on, Cynthia.
Cynthia, I had to take Cynthia to task today because that was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I don't know what she's talking about.
Yeah, well, it's when something is so concrete and locked in, you have to get.
Well, I just don't like the logic of it because the way she phrased it was
where her logic,
the Bears are passing.
Where her logic is severely flawed. Let's just say in some crazy world that they decided on Jaden Daniels. You would never take him at number 1 under the circumstances. Ever.
Right. At some point, guys, like, you know where we've stood on this, and this isn't even about that, right? The analysis that I know.
Speak on that. The analysis right here, like bear me must be new here.
Oh, sorry.
But, yeah, just throw that up there.
The analysis that
bear me. This has nothing to do with fandom. By the way, we break down what we see. It's not.
This has zero to do with it.
If he doesn't play well, guess what we're gonna say? He's not playing good enough. We'll actually tell you that.
We've had people. I've known people that are now, there's homophobics out there. There's ignorance. There's racism. There's commentary that I can't even swallow. And it's such a terrible look. The worst part about it is people being okay with it. So for me, watching the amount of football that I watch and I dedicate, obviously, this is my job to be the most informed. I'll put myself in the ring with any of these guys because no agent is going to pay me to say something nice about their guy, and no studio meeting with producers or hey, why don't you take a contrarian? No, this is my rep. This is my life. This is my analysis. Me and Shane go into debates over things because we're passionate about it. But for 2 years, I've told you here on this network that Caleb Williams is the best quarterback I've seen in my lifetime. Then the narratives came that it was a down year, and there's no perspective. The tape shows the perspective as well as the graduating class and the people surrounding him in talent. All of that shows perspective, but no narratives, no agendas that some of these old men who are sitting on their fucking front porch, former Chicago Bear, whatever, creating a narrative. Hey, I've heard this. I've heard. Everybody's heard. We've all heard. Then we see this, and they run with that. But at the end of the day, the resume is the tape. The talent is beyond Justin Fields' dream. That was the truth. That was my quote. He walks in to Hallis Hall. I'm in the middle of a rant. I'm sorry. Our guest has been enjoying the green room and the filet mignon and the lobster tails Shane and I sent over. So just allowing her to finish a little bit with my. But Caleb Williams is going to be a superstar in Chicago because he starts with the resume. That's the only. Peyton Manning only had a resume. John Elway had a college resume, right? That's it. You didn't know what they were going to be. That's football. Injuries happen. bad coaching. We know the scenarios. That doesn't stop you from selecting the best. And that's what your GM told you. This woman tonight told you. Let's bring her out the way we do here at TTNL, like nobody else. I hope I've set this up. I hope but let's bring her out. You know her. She's on ESPN. She's all over the place. Round the Horn, ESPN Chicago, AM 1000. She's got the podcast with Pat, the designer. She's everywhere. Let's bring her out the TTNL way. Keep Sheri here because I know Sheri needs hugs and kisses. Here we go. Bring her out, Courtney Cronin. The tape never lies.
NHL 94. It was on Sega. That was.
Oh, is that what it was?
Hands out there.
Sega. How do you say that?
Sega.
Sega. I always said Sega.
Sega.
It's easier from the East Coast.
Me down to the East Coast.
You always.
I say it Western way. Sega.
Sega.
Is there a commercial for it that I'm unaware of?
No, when you put your cartridge in.
Yeah.
Here we go.
See? Ours didn't sing. I think we probably got the knockoff version of it. So that's the noise.
Yeah.
All right. Fuck this. Those are things that you can build upon that actually enhance the value of your product instead of diminish it. I think with Fields, the jury's still out.
You have to navigate the market for Justin Fields and how dry the trade market is right now.
Looking at it saying that's all they could get for Justin Fields, and I've said this all along, that's a reflection of what the league's telling you they think of Justin right now.
You can hardly turn on your radio or TV these days without seeing this lady talking ball. She's everywhere. But most importantly, she covers the team we all know and love. Bears fans, TTNL fans, please get up out your seats and give it up for the Bears beat reporter for ESPN.
So similar to how the Bears
ESPN
went through this
Radio.
rebuild.
She's family. She's Courtney Cronin.
There she is.
How are you guys? That was awesome. That was a very.
Hi, Courtney.
Hi, Sheri. How are you, honey?
I'm good.
I thought Phil was going to go there for 15 minutes on that monologue.
Yeah,
I was listening. You captivated me. So
we had our little powwow in the private chat, Phil, while you were
Did you?
waxing poetic.
I was in a zone and then I looked down. I didn't even hear that pop when they're on. So I was like, oh, this year I better shut up. So did it live up to the hype? Your new intro?
No, I love the Sega thing, and see, look where I'm at. This is
exactly
bringing it
first
back.
thing I noticed when you popped in there. Yeah,
exactly. My travel issues today,
poor girls on the tarmac.
I wanted to just scream, but when I was at O'Hare, my flight ends up getting moved because we were delayed for 5 or 6 hours. But I do have the Sega, the thing that
there it is.
Currently Sega,
yeah.
Sega, or whatever the hell I said in that video. But yeah, I've got Madden from '96 here too.
Wow,
she's breaking out all the old school.
NHL 94 is over there. I can't reach it, but you're just gonna
okay. We believe you.
There you go.
Love it.
She was a gamer. You still play game or no?
I don't know how these kids kids relative term, they're adults who play Fortnite and play all the games. I don't have a system, and I know that makes me sound lame. I don't know. Do people actually go and buy systems anymore?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Shane waited all night.
Yeah.
I know some of the terminology, but I don't have a PS5. I got a Roku. That's about as much as I will dabble in the space that's not my television. So I don't know if you can do anything with that. But no, I'm not a gamer. I would love to play GoldenEye. If I had that game again,
Wow.
like 98, that game came out. That was like my favorite year of life was 1998 for a multitude of reasons. The Cubs were great that year. The Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire home run race, music was awesome. The Austin Powers movie came out, and GoldenEye was the thing. And we had a flood in this basement when I was in high school, and the N64 got destroyed along with all of my hopes and dreams. So I don't have GoldenEye anymore. But if I was a gamer, that's the game I would play.
You know, one of our fans is going to purchase that and get it to you.
Oh my God. I will. If somebody
GoldenEye.
Where can you even get that anymore? I'm surprised.
Oh, I got people that can
GameStop.
Oh yeah.
Wait, did they do a remake of it? Can you buy it?
No, I think they have the actual, what was that? Nintendo 64?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think we could get that for you.
Okay. It was must have been on Sega, right? If that's what
Jim Larison probably has it at his house. Yeah. It was on Nintendo.
He bought the rights to it.
Sega.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm like, I need to bring something. I looked back on all your visits here at what we say your second family. Mm. We love your first family and a lot of the people on your network there. And here I was just going back through it. And then the first show that happened to pop up and it was right queued up to this Sega thing.
Oh my God.
I'm like, oh my God, I got to bring that into her intro. That was so funny. I had so many texts the next morning. Like,
I pronounced it incorrectly.
She pronounced it incorrectly. And of course, you get the dumbasses out there too that are, yeah, she can't even pronounce what's his name's name correctly.
There's dumbasses on Bears Twitter. No way.
No
way.
Oh man, tonight's like such a quiet night too, where the last couple days they've been nice on Bears Twitter and just on social media in general. The last couple of weeks since the trade, since owners meetings, and you hear from Ryan Poles, Matt Eberflus, the whole gamut of Bears brass, and it's becoming very real. In 22 days from right now, they will have a new quarterback, and that quarterback is 99.9% going to be Caleb Williams. And maybe it's just like the people who were averse to that happening starting to come around on it. And maybe that's quieting the social media space around the Chicago Bears. But my God, for a while there, it was like, that was a bad place to be. Like there were times I got really sick. I don't know, I didn't have COVID, but I swear, like whatever the newest of new strains is, before they were able to determine it was COVID, I think I had that. In February, I was like down for the count for 10 or 12 days right before the Super Bowl. And it was incredible by Sheri. It was incredible to be able to just, like, as awful as I felt, and like just as laid up as I was for more than a week, I was off Twitter, and it was marvelous. Like, just that was at a time where, I have notifications turned on for specific people. So even seeing, people who usually don't get into the mud based on the conversation around Justin Fields, around Caleb Williams, I was glad that I had like a legitimate excuse of being unwell, physically.
You had the Sega.
Me and my Sega. Like, actually, no, I rewatched The Last Dance when I was sick, and it was so much better the second time around.
Yeah, really.
It was really good. But yeah, no, it's been a weird like 4 months already to the start of the year. The fact that the draft is already here, and this offseason went by so much faster than last. And I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but there really is, like, once they draft a quarterback, the whole offseason now, like, usually when you can kind of like go through the motions during OTAs and kind of get a feel for what the team's going to look like. And then there's times in training camp where there's a ramp up period. No, it's going to be, full speed ahead the second that they start rookie minicamp in, a month from now. And that's wild to think about, because, all of the excitement, all of the pressure that's on this team to get it right, like that doesn't just dissipate and like take a break once the draft is over. That's when like it starts kicking in high gear.
For reals.
Oh, hell yeah.
For real. Let me ask her something before we go forward. Because how much, and you don't have to share anything, but how much of the Justin stuff that littered or overflowed into your life with these fans and people getting aggressive and in denial did you not report on that you knew but couldn't say it because it was so volatile or it was contentious, if you will? How much of that was going on in your life?
Yeah, I actually had a conversation with Carmen Vitale about this. She covers, Bears, whole NFC North for Fox Sports. And it was right around the time of the Super Bowl. And we talked about how there's days where if you've got a story, like you just won't even post it because you know that immediately the replies are going to be just, you could say that the sky is blue and someone will scream at you saying, no, it's orange. It just got to that point. And I know that and I've had these conversations, even with people within the Bears organization who have seen me defend myself. And, if I've always been of the belief, and maybe it's wrong, but I've been of the belief if someone comes at you sideways, and if it's not just like some random insult or some asshole on Twitter who says something, but if someone comes at you sideways and it's something, it's in regards to something that is related to your livelihood, your profession, you're well within your right to correct them, especially if they're saying something that's, just completely off base. And I've had people in the building see that stuff and be like, how come you respond to that? And I'm like, I think about it every once in a while where there's things that deserve your energy and there's things that do not deserve your energy. And after a while, I kind of just got to a point where I'm like, no matter what I say, no matter what any of us who cover the team regularly, who are there every single day, who have sources in the building, who talk to people, who have tried to approach this in a measured way, it's never going to be good enough for everybody. And it's okay. You don't have to please everybody, but there's just going to be people who are so committed to misunderstanding you and trying to make you out to be the bad guy that, there's just a point where you just got to be like, all right, screw it. I can't exert my energy on this because my energy stores are so limited as they are right now that you've got to just allocate your resources and your mental bandwidth to where it needs to be. But yes, to answer your question, Phil, there were plenty of things there's plenty of stuff that, I always reported what I knew and I will always continue to do that. But there's certain things where it's is this going to, I've had to catch myself even on radio and even when Pat and I are doing the pod, because there've been times where people have clipped things off the pod and have gone, for example, they've gone nuts with it. Remember? I'll give you an example of this. You probably saw it. So
we see you, Courtney.
Tuesday, thank you. Tuesday of free agency week, Pat and I do the pod Tuesday, Thursday, most weeks. I'm on twice. So whatever we can do for those days, but it's typically Tuesday, Thursday. And we were talking about, hey, Pohl said he wanted to trade Justin by free agency. Why hasn't it happened? And by Tuesday, most of the movement has already happened, the big moves. The last one before we had filmed that podcast was Sam Darnold overnight going to Minnesota. And what I said on that podcast that got clipped that just lit the world on fire, if you would have read the mentions, was that the league's telling us that they do not believe Justin Fields is a starter. And that's me saying it on a podcast. And a podcast is a free form. It's a way to. I just taught a journalism class down at my alma mater, Indiana University, this past weekend. We were talking about the different ways that you frame reporting and how you deliver information. On SportsCenter, I'm clear, I'm concise. I've got one major point I've got to hit, maybe two tiny other things, but I've got a minute, maybe a minute and 15 seconds. On a podcast, I can be verbose. I can go tangents like I'm doing right now. I can do all of those things, but on that podcast, I had a chance to really tap into the people I had talked to within the 48 hours prior to that. Once Russ decided he wanted to go to Pittsburgh and then seeing the fallout from that and just trying to gauge, okay, what is it? Is the asking price too high? Are people calling their bluff because they know that they're going to end up moving on from, they're going to use number one pick on a quarterback? Is it that Justin in his tape is telling you something? There's all of those things. And what I said on that podcast was that the league's telling you they don't view him right now as a starter. Maybe one day he will be.
Which is true, by the way.
Which is true. But like, I purposefully, when I saw that it was either that we clipped it or somebody else clipped it, I held off on retweeting it, which I always will retweet our work. I want to make sure that like we did 2 million views in 1 year, and I'm very, very proud of that podcast. And Eric Ostrowski, who's like, our captain of the Chicago Bears Network, who does an incredible job. Pat does an incredible job. Like, I always will do things to support my people, but at that point I was like, I don't need it. I don't need what this is about to open up, because if you just saw the litany of comments on it, it was insane. So then, of course, Saturday happens. I'm wall-to-wall Sports Center radio, the whole thing, like reporting actual information about how this thing unfolded. And what I was told from a team source, was exactly what I had reported earlier in the week,
right,
from what I was talking about. And so at that time I posted it. At that time it was like 4 a.m. I was waking up to do my radio show that I do at 6 a.m. on Sundays. I had been on like 2 hours of sleep after finishing up, stuff from the night before. And I was like, you know what? Screw it. Like, it's kind of like, do you people realize how fucking ridiculous you're being? From the fact that like people who are like went to school for this, like do this for a living. Like, do you think I'm just pulling this out of thin air? The things that I'm saying? Right. No. And it drives me nuts. So it was a way to validate how I felt about it. And also to kind of stand up for myself in those moments where it's like, no, like we were telling you something, you chose not to listen. And that's okay. People are going to, fan stands for fanatic. And a lot of people are going to be blind to the fact that what they want to happen doesn't always align with what will happen. But that's probably the best example I can give you of something that, I felt like I should just kind of stay out of it for now, because it was too toxic, even though myself, others were right. Like, it was too toxic to wade through all that.
No, it was. I'm sorry, Shane.
Yeah, go ahead.
And it's like, we had the same thing. Again, you kind of know who we are because we have this.
Well, that's
outlet.
what I was just going to say, Phil.
We're able to
kind of
go ahead.
Hammer down on it. Courtney, before you got here, Phil and I were talking pre-show, and I obviously don't have to deal with it on a level like you do every day, but
especially that, yeah.
It got so crazy. Like, I got a DM from a guy that's told me, because of my take on Justin Fields and that I wanted Caleb Williams to be the quarterback here. Mm-hmm. He says to me, I can't wait till your son gets cancer again.
Jesus fucking Christ. Are you serious?
This is dead truth.
No, dead serious.
This is the guy that was out there crying that Justin left, and he put that out there to try to garner attention. That guy.
I showed it to Phil, and I'm like, this is just
clowns.
It's none of the social media shit is worth it.
No.
At all.
I totally.
And I said I've kind of backed off a lot of it, just especially on Twitter, because you're not going to beyond toxic. I don't even know if there's a proper word for it, but I'm like, I can't imagine going to that degree to anybody about anything in sports or anything like that. But I'm like, holy shit. But it's that person that did that he'll be the same asshole when Caleb throws for 315 and 3 touchdowns in week 1. We'll be wearing his jersey, and I knew it the whole time. It's just, there's no rhyme or reason to any of it. And it's crazy. I can't imagine dealing with it on the level that you have to,
This is what I want, because Courtney and Cap, I give Cap a lot of credit too. You're putting yourself out there, and Jonathan Hood. I mean, I love that show in the morning. I'm biased to them. They keep it 100. Like,
great show.
It is. And you do the same thing. So we spoke privately through text, and I knew it was a struggle for you because you're tap dancing a line of professionalism, and you're getting completely bombarded with bullshit. And, we obviously have we don't have the producer above us in this GM. I have Shane, who's telling me, don't worry, Phil. We're going to have the last laugh. You have done all this work. You keep saying, and sure enough, and that's why it's very difficult.
It's hard.
Very difficult. And it was difficult not to take a victory lap.
Yeah.
And it was difficult because some people just want to move on. But I'm like, no, you're going to understand that this was 2024 for Shane and Phil and Courtney and these people that dedicate their lives to covering the team truthfully, that we're going to talk about it because it has been 40 some odd years since we've had a quarterback like this. And there was a lot of feelings.
It's been 105.
105.
Let's be honest.
And there's manipulations of just like they cut your snippet and run with it.
Mm-hmm.
They do that all the time to me and Shane, like this comment. I want to address this. Viso Joe, Courtney, don't mention Pat. Phil hates it. How do I hate Pat? I don't know Pat. I don't agree with Pat's football takes, but I will tell Pat in front of Courtney, his friend, I completely have no bone to beef with him at all. I would love to debate and have Pat on the show and have fun with that. Everybody that I love, Courtney included, Cap, Hood, all speak highly of Pat.
That's the problem.
But because I have a different football stance than Pat,
there's no debate.
There's no debate.
You don't agree with me, so
but
you're
when
an
you
asshole.
get into the ignorant stance of now a race card with the quarterback or the next thing, that's when I lash out because and a lie. And so those types of ignorance, the lies with Caleb Williams and Justin Fields, I felt obligated as a father, as a coach, as an analyst to fight Dan Orlovsky's ass off and fight against all of the
come on, Cynthia Freeland. Come on.
Cynthia Freeland. I called her out tonight too, because it's not even in the ballpark of truth. So those types of things are what I see in Courtney. And I just love having you on, but I totally love the success that you're having because there's not a lot of people with a backbone in your business. And it seems like a lot of them like to play a contrarian point of view instead of fight for the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you all, honestly, this lady is one of those people that's going to fight for the truth. And, you hate all you want. I think people hate the truth for some reason.
Yeah.
And it sucks, but you deserve this forum to speak your mind here. And I'm glad you did, because you did cover this great. And my sons love you. They pointed you out in Chili's.
I know. You sent me that photo, and it was a
photos in your intro.
Yeah, it is. My eyes aren't closed. Usually when I get those screenshots where I saw you on TV, it's like me looking, like my face is closed or my eyes are closed and my mouth looks stupid. But no, I appreciate that. I've never covered anything like this before. It's like polarizing doesn't even begin to describe what it was like, but I am very curious because the people that you speak of, and I don't follow a lot of I don't wade into the mix. I don't have the time or the bandwidth for it. I don't but sometimes you'll see things and you'll see how people will, just interact with each other over things on Twitter and just how nasty it goes from 0 to nasty, really quick. And I don't understand it, but I did notice that Saturday, let's say 8:00 at night. So the trade happens 5:30 ish Central Time. So when I'm finally coming up for air, after, I file a bunch of stories and I'm getting ready to go to the nighttime sports center, I was just scrolling. I was just looking to see what was on Twitter, seeing kind of what the reaction was. And some of the people that I had seen, some of these Bears fans who were big ride or die, Justin Fields, he is him, the whole thing, very quickly pivoted to, all right, it's Caleb now. And I'm just I don't know. If I was a fan, I don't think I'd be comfortable doing that, because it's just it just showed your ass doing acting like a jerk on social media. And a lot of these people, these are some people who call in to the radio station, who will call in to 1000 and have, whether Shay lets them on air or not. There've been times where I'm these people I don't know where they're getting their facts from or their football knowledge from, because none of it's adding up. But the fact that the fact that now they're like beating the drum for Caleb Williams, I guess that's better than the alternative, because the alternative is going to be the people who move the goalpost, who expect Caleb Williams to come in here and be could he be the first 4,000-yard passer in franchise history? God, you certainly hope so, because they've never had one. But
that's it. He has the resume to do that, the
true,
talent
but
to do that.
There's people now who
are putting the litmus.
Yeah, and it's like they're moving the goalpost of like these insane rookie expectations for this quarterback, where it's like, all right, well, you moved on from my guy, Justin Fields. You better be all that and more. Not like truly looking at this objectively, to a quarterback who's coming into a very good situation for a team that finished with a top 5 defense last year, the second half of the season, and finished 7-10, a lot of new weapons offensively. Yeah, he's coming into a good situation, but as I've said for a year now, or just about, like, CJ Stroud's the anomaly. So you can't just be like, if he's not better than CJ Stroud, then he's a bust. Like, I don't understand why, if you love a team so much, why you'd be so adamant and like remaining adversarial about the quarterback. Like, I'd say quietly, if you're one of those Justin Fields people, if you are like one of the really vocal people who did not want him to leave, that thinks that everybody, that it was like, without calling people out, I'm just like trying to remember some of these comments that I saw that Saturday night. I'm like, oh my God, like, get off Twitter. Just seeing what some of these people said, it's like, you don't have to be that version of like still holding on to the dream that died, but I don't think it's fair to switch up sides that quickly, where you were so adamant and so vocal on one thing. But I also don't think it's fair to be, trying to set Caleb Williams or the rookie quarterback, whoever you think they're going to take. We all think they're taking Caleb Williams, but why you'd want to set anybody up for success? It doesn't help your team. If you're a fan, shouldn't you be getting it behind? Like, and I'm not. I am a reporter. Like, I am a journalist. I cover this team. I can't have allegiances, nor would I ever want to. That's not part of the job. But like, if you're a fan, wouldn't you think you'd get behind whoever can get your team back to the playoffs and maybe win their first playoff game in more than a decade? Like, isn't that common sense? Or am I not seeing something right? Like, am I off base for thinking that, like, I don't know, maybe upgrading the quarterback spot is a good thing to do when you have the opportunity?
I think you're 100% right, but I think their get out of jail free card and what we've experienced here is, Phil and I are fans. We grew up Chicago Bears fans, but we also analyze what we see on tape, and we're going to hold Justin accountable. We're going to hold the franchise accountable for things that have went wrong. And the buzzsaw that we've run into is when we're critical of Justin on tape or anybody, it's, you guys aren't real Bears fans. First off, Shane, you're from New York. Phil, you're from Connecticut. You're not real Bears fans. You're not from Chicago. And you're going to interrogate this kid while he's still a Chicago Bear. You're not a real fan. And it's, how do you even respond to that, really? I
don't think you can. I think that's those are the people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Like, first off, this team, this brand is one of the strongest international sports brands of all time. The Chicago Bears. Like, I don't even have to go through the history. So the fact that, like, they think just because you don't live inside of this bubble here that you can't be fans is kind of absurd. Like, that I would hear that, and that's when I'd stop tuning out, to be like, this is 2024. You can be a fan of literally any single team because you can consume.
Have you ever heard of NFL Sunday Ticket? That's like the whole entire
1980, where you can only watch the games in your market.
Right. It's crazy.
It also comes into play because, we don't hide the fact that we do this and get paid to do it and break down the tape for truth on our patron side and shout out to all our patrons for over what do we have, 1,100 patrons now?
Awesome.
It's over 1,000. Yep.
So we are there doing this as professionals, and there is an attitude that you have to look at this tape. There's so many people, even on your network, that say, and I'm not saying where, I'm not talking about Chicago, I'm talking about the ESPN, that say they're watching the tape, but they have a producer doing that. and getting notes. I know I was a young buck interviewing at ESPN, finding out the true, you're going to be a producer for so-and-so. I won't say the name, but okay, what is that? Okay, you break down all the tape and send him your notes. And then he goes, that's how these things work in some places. And not just ESPN, it's all over the place. So when they take these horrible takes, especially when you're dealing with a draft, then there's debate. Then there's showcase. And we show the tape. And I was never, ever more concerned about the Bear fans than I was this year. It was the most unexplainable truth to handle over to New England Patriots and Giants and Jets fans here in Connecticut, that people are like, wait, Bears fans don't want Caleb Williams? Like, what?
I've talked to 100 people here in New York that when you talk to
like
them about
Justin Fields,
people in
can't
Chicago, how toxic it, they're like, what is the debate?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Caleb Williams.
nationally, I've heard that same thing where people don't understand. Like, usually, like for me, so Jeremy Fowler and I did this collaborative article, week 18. It was about, at that point, if they get the number, they already had the number 1 overall pick at that point, because I think they clinched it week 16
1 week
or
left.
17.
Yeah.
So like with Carolina, like they're going to finish with a worse record. The Bears will have the number 1 overall pick. But at that point, it wasn't, the conversation was very different from where it was even like a month ago right now. But it was about how the Bears, like what were their options going to be? Like, should they stay with Justin Fields and build around him? Should they go get Caleb Williams or, quarterback in the draft? And I had one GM after the story dropped text me being like, what is the debate? Are you like, what am I not understanding here? Like, great article, but like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm like, no, seriously, this is the debate here locally. And I know that this is something, I mean, you even heard Ryan Poles talk about it at owners meetings, that they went through all of these scenarios to like figure out, okay, how can we do this best? Even like the 2 quarterback idea, which he, like, can this work? So it's not like it was an immediate no, but it's like very quickly they realized this would be the worst situation for both of them, for a quarterback fighting for his life as a starter in the NFL and the new guy coming in. If you want to not be the same old Bears, you don't do things the way that business has been done for a very long time. And I think that's what a lot of the league saw is like, hey, this is a no-brainer. This is the chance to break the cycle. Yet here locally, there were people fighting to hold on to something that frankly ran out of time. And I view this situation as like, it's okay to like look at it and say, these are 2 ships passing. Sometimes life isn't fair. It's not fair to Justin Fields that the last staff went and drafted him. Like, well, they were fighting to keep their jobs. You know what? They got fired anyways. And it sucks because there's some really good people in that front office who don't have jobs and from that coaching staff who are, out of the NFL right now. But like, that doesn't mean like, it's no one's fault, but there's going to be all these people who look back at the situation and say, well, they never set him up for success in the first place. They couldn't. They had to orchestrate a full roster teardown. You're probably not a 7-10 team last year, in the way that it finished and the way that like the arrow's now trending upwards, if they don't go about this and like really take it on the chin in year 1. And even last year early on, really take it on the chin. It doesn't look like it's going anywhere. And then things start to click when they start adding pieces. And that's just like, I get it. Like nationally, the people I talk to that are not in like those sources I have that are outside of Hallis Hall,
right.
They look at it kind of sideways being like, wait, I don't understand the question here. Like, how do you not go like with the opportunity that this team has, how do you not like go draft a quarterback with the number 1 overall pick that didn't come to you via your own terrible record? Like, it's a no-brainer.
Well, it kept going. So for me, it started with the tape. Obviously, his Heisman year. I was ready to trade Justin last year. If he was in that draft, gone, it's Caleb Williams. It's without a doubt. And Shayne, I mean, it's all there documented on our live shows, and you came on the post-game show a post-draft show. That's where the Sega, I think, happened. But anyway, and Shane goes, Phil, but if they trade down this year, because I was like, they need to do their due diligence with Stroud, Young, and these quarterbacks before, because I had my concerns with the slow processing and the delivery and the footwork. Everything looks skewed. Now we could point fingers at the coaches, and that's fair too. They're not unblameable, but Justin is a professional football player. Dan Marino worked on his craft. Tom Brady, is there any example bigger than Tom Brady working on his craft? Drew, these guys work on their craft. They do it to improve. I'm not saying Justin did or didn't. I'm just saying there is improvement when you want to. I didn't see the want to for me. I saw a talented athlete getting over on his ability to escape the pocket, and he couldn't throw the ball to the middle of the field with anticipation. And that kept bothering people. Like, you can't say you're not a fan, like Shane was saying. But then we fast forward. Shane's, well, they traded. What will they get next year? This is last year. An opportunity with 2, maybe they get your boy, Caleb, next year. The Bears won the fucking Powerball and got the guy. He has been the ascension of quarterback play forever. There's a reason why he has this much money in NIL. Let me tell you a little secret. Caitlin Clark is fucking really good, right? She's really fucking good. This is the first female I could say that you could put her out on the NBA floor, and I believe she will fucking score. She can. Anyway, she's getting paid. Caleb Williams is that same aura. And you had all these people trying to say differently because of a Notre Dame game, which we shattered. And it was so great because we at TTNL said, if you watch the second half, you show us, and Chris Jacko could attest to this because he was one of those Justin Fields believers to the last drop, whatever, like Maxwell House. But he came around to Caleb. But I'm just saying, I could see him in the background. But I'm saying that second half that's a scout's dream to see how, and Shane used it as Jay Cutler. He would just crumble.
Yeah, well, there was 3 one, picks, there was going to be a second,
6 picks.
There was going to be a third.
Rex Grossman, 8 picks, whatever. But Caleb, with a defense letting up 40.7 points a game, is going to try to keep you in the game and make mistakes. That's what kids do. That's what quarterbacks do. Anyway, I digress on this because you were there with me and seeing this stuff, and you see a superstar in waiting, and it's like so infuriating to me because of what you're saying. Wouldn't Bears fans be so excited like I am? Like, Shane, what is going on? Like, this would be the time of our lives.
Yeah.
Where is the girl running to me in Dirty Dancing? I can lift her up.
I saw something that, like, and I wonder if this has anything to do with it. You know, people spend a lot of money on jerseys, right? Like, they're, you know, if you're really getting an authentic one from the NFL shop or the Bears team shop, it's expensive. It's an investment. Right. And somebody put a picture on Twitter of a Mooney, David Montgomery, and Justin Fields, like their haul of jerseys. Like, well, what do I do with these now?
We have them here at this.
Like,
you're talking to a guy with a Dusty Dvoracek jersey.
Yeah, like there's all of the again, like that's a great example, Shane, because it goes so far beyond all of those, like the 3 players that I just mentioned. It's, man, they're giving up on this guy that I really like, that I see who has potential, and you know, my emotional investment. Fans get like invested in things. And we all know how this works. It's a business. It's a business of attrition. It's a business of, you know, cycles, and rosters go through, you know, different life cycles every couple of years. But I think it's the unknown. And I remember hearing Louis Riddick, excuse me, say this on Waddle and Sylvie a couple of months ago, that like holding on to glimmers of hope or some phrasing like that gets you fired. And he's right. And I do
flashes get you fired.
Flashes get you fired. Like there's there's a big portion of this fan base that saw the flashes, that saw the runs that he ripped off in back-to-back weeks against Detroit and Miami 2 years ago, and saw the moments where he was able to keep plays alive and say, what if they just had XYZ? What if there was one more offensive lineman that they drafted that ended up being like an instant starter? What if they got him another receiver? What if, like, the what if, when you have a quarterback who's a sure thing, and we won't know how Caleb Williams pans out. Like, let's not like expect him to come in here and be a world beater right away. I just don't think that's a realistic expectation, but the ceiling on him as a pro, you're not going to find anybody who's worth their salt telling you the ceiling on Justin Fields as a pro was better than Caleb Williams coming out. That's just inaccurate and that's false. But like, I think that certain people just look at this saying, almost kind of feeling pity for the situation of how it played out, that the kid never really had a chance. Like, that's life sometimes, and that stinks because you don't like, we don't want the, I think about the Vikings, the team I used to cover, and now the situation that they're in with Kirk Cousins gone and what they're going to do there. But this was their one window of opportunity to get out from under, have the contract constraints that come with that quarterback that he's always been able to finesse out of teams, regardless of having, one playoff win to his name. But I think that's like, there's the cautionary tale of, do you want to become Washington, where you've had 12 quarterback starts since, the time Kirk Cousins left, or do you want to be a team that's had 6-7 years of stability? It's difficult to project that, but that's not just the team. That's like the people who are making the decisions to make sure that you don't have a revolving door after the quarterback leaves. And for Ryan Poles and his staff to have this golden ticket handed to them by a lot of hard work that they did, from tearing down the roster to strategically playing this, like, Carolina might not be very good next year. Maybe there's a chance we get the number 1 overall pick again. I mean, there's the fact that it's never happened where a team, like in the common era of the draft, and I've tweeted this stat 1,000 times, but they are the first team since 1960, so the common era when the draft started, more or less, to have the number 1 pick the year after trading it. How the hell could you possibly trade it again? Like, that's, I can't see the logic there. And sometimes that's what causes me to just kind of like tune out, because there's this is a lesson in economics. This is an opportunity cost that they cannot, like, it would bankrupt them as a franchise, not just in terms of the dollar figure, but in terms of like the equity within this franchise if they passed up on the opportunity that they set themselves up for.
I
Like,
said
why did you
this.
do all that work just to pass up on it again? Unless Justin Fields had shown you something in year 3 that you were absolutely convinced this is the guy, and that was not the case. That was not. Obviously, they made that decision for real on March 16th, but they knew that wasn't the case the end of the season. That there was a lot left for debate instead of like nothing left for debate, like, trade the pick, whatever. Like, if he was a sure thing 3 years in, where you're like, yes, that's our guy, that's our Joe Burrow, that's our Justin Herbert, that's our whoever. CJ Stroud's that guy right now, and he showed it the 1 year, but like, they didn't see that. So how can you possibly fault them for going about it the way that they did?
You can't. They did the right football thing for the first time in my life. Shane brought up that video of Devin Hester, and you see Jerry Angelo, and it's like, oh my God, that was the Bears passing on these players. Randy Moss gets passed on because he didn't show all these great stories, right? But this franchise, and I've been critical of Ryan Poles, he's had his misses, but this has been brilliance on his part, and he deserves every bit of credit because of what, and the Bears and George McCaskey hiring Kevin Warren, when it first happened, you were like our first guest thereafter, talking about what he'd bring to the Bears, and he's bringing, an energy, a professionalism, a football first. For me as a Bears fan, it's always been politics over football. Mm-hmm. It should be performance over the politics. Now it seems to be that way. And I will say this, Kevin Warren's going to help build the stadium. Caleb Williams will build the stadium. That's the kind of talent we got something here. You remember the old mayor? Like, yeah, how about you start winning, then talk about stadium? This is a new era of Chicago Bears football. And I'm happy that you're on the front lines covering it, because we deserve some truth fighters there. Because David G's right. And I get frustrated with this kind of stuff. They work for your company. You know, Mike Greenberg, I can't even listen to that show. Once Cap and Hood are off, I just turn it off. Hasselbeck, RG3's comments.
Mm-hmm.
Are you allowed to push back on these people? Do they try to keep you not because they're part of ESPN? I've had a lot of people DMing me wanting to know that question.
I think that it's a fair question. I think it's also the space that I'm in and what my role is. Like, kind of going back to what I was saying about how you deliver information. When I'm on SportsCenter, I'm there in a reporter capacity. I'm there to tell you what my sources are telling me, just like when I was on all last week at owners meetings, telling you what I heard from my one-on-one conversations with Ryan Poles and Kevin Warren. And then, before that, with like what I reported the night that the trade happened, gave you the other, 6 teams. I gave you all of the nuts and bolts and the details of what happened before anybody else did. And
Exactly.
that's my capacity on SportsCenter. When I'm on Get Up, you're in kind of a debate format.
Right.
It's not debate for me is First Take. That's why I love that. Like when I get in there, it's like, it's the most fun I have when I'm on TV, because you can go off the rails. You can do whatever you want, obviously within reason, but it is so fun to be able to debate other people and have it be something that's not like this cookie cutter sort of like I'm a reporter and reporter only in this moment. That's where I really get to flex my debate muscle. But with Get Up, like the last time I was on was the Friday, the day after they traded for Keenan Allen. So it was Friday morning. And I think that everybody that was on that show that day, myself, Dan Graziano, Dominique Foxworth, and who else was on there that day with me? I think Bart Scott. Like, I don't think anybody had like this insane take about like, no, they're doing wrong by Justin Fields. They need to keep Justin Fields. I felt like, there have been times, and of course the RG3 video that was put out that he ends up trying to clarify the day later, people have strong opinions, and I'm never going to fault anybody for having a strong opinion. I do too. And I mean, like when you're in front of a camera, you are responsible for the things that you say. Like, I'll be the first one to own that, considering my, what's in my intro of what I said when I was, frustrated and sleep deprived and whatever else, and not really realizing I was in front of a hot mic. But it's, I do think that there comes a territory with don't be a hot take artist. Don't just take the contrarian point of view, just to take it, because then you sound like you've got an agenda to be that person, that guy or that girl who is the hot take artist, who's going to take the road less traveled because nobody else is doing it, even though logic will tell you to do something else.
I appreciate that, by the way. Then we should make sure you're on First Take more.
I love it. I every summer, like usually it's like right around the time the NBA finals ends, I usually spend a good stretch out there, and it's been really fun. I mean, it's a great show. Stephen A has built that thing into an empire, and I love like whenever I can get an opportunity to go on there.
Let's shift focus a little bit and talk about the least talked about first round pick in the history of ever, number 9. I still can't get over that. We have
10 pick.
Yeah,
I know.
The least talked about top 10 pick.
That's crazy.
Yeah, what is your gut feeling, Courtney? Do you there's a big empty hole at edge.
Yeah.
Are they? I don't really know what to feel about Ryan Poles and his commitment to Braxton Jones. Moving forward, it is his guy, unlike Justin Fields. Another wide receiver, Keenan Allen, 31, going to be 32 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Add more firepower there. What is Courtney Cronin's gut feel on this? Or this?
So,
if they could have their, if they could have their choice, where do you think that this would go?
every time I run a mock, everything for me comes up Roma Dunze or a wide receiver that falls to them there. I still think if I had to like rank priorities and like, look, they need an edge rusher, but I feel like just the way that these mock drafts have played out so far, and yes, that's not gospel, but there's a little bit of a rhyme and a reason to it. I would say it's wide receiver, edge, and then offensive tackle. And the reason I think that like the O-line, not saying you can neglect it by any stretch, but I think that you can get by there for right now with what you have. I mean, you have a budding star on the right side of the line in Darnell Wright. They're very pleased with him. They love his growth. He's exactly what they thought he would be when they drafted him. A+, good job. There's a new center in Ryan Bates who's projected to be the starter. For right now, like coming into the mix. So you've upgraded that position. Good job. And then with Braxton's had, issues with against a bull rush. He's admitted that. He's admitted the things that he believes are weaknesses within his game. But it's not to say that can't be tolerated for another year. Maybe this is the year for him going into year 3, getting stronger, getting better as a pass, in pass protection, that you can at least get by with that for right now because you have such little draft capital remaining. And remember, people are like, oh, they've got all this money. Like, why aren't they still spending it? This is going to be an expensive draft class. Number 1 and number 9, like within those guarantees, that's going to be about, roughly, and it's not all 1 year, but that's roughly about like $55 million that you are paying those players over the course of their Bears career, of the course of their rookie contract, which is 4 years plus the potential for a 5th year with the option. But I just feel like this is a situation where what's different from the quarterback coming in versus where Justin Fields was, everybody was like, beating the table for get another receiver. Like in this offense, with 2 tight end sets being as prevalent as they are, and the potential now you have a 1 and a 1A, however you want to chalk it up, between DJ Moore and Keenan Allen.
Exactly.
The receiver coming in here is really high quality depth, if we're being honest about it, and that's depth that could obviously be a starter. But like, when is the last time they had that? Like, they're are 400 over 400 yards that separated DJ Moore from the next leading wide receiver last year. And that's damning how bad that is. And some of that's on the talent in the room. Some of that is on the deficiencies of the quarterback, if you're just calling it out for what it was.
Right.
I've always been of the logic of like, if you get Justin Fields another receiver, is that going to change anything? Like, I didn't think it was.
No,
we talked about that.
They could see this where a situation plays out at number 9. Who's the player that they're in love with? I still personally am of the belief that a trade back should happen there if they can execute it. But like,
okay, that's your number 1 choice. Like, just trade
honestly,
back.
yes, because if you could get Xavier Worthy or one of the other, like, not
Lad McConkey is my guy.
Like, if you could get somebody like later in the first round and recoup something between 9 and 75. Who says no? Like, that's the logical thing for me, that like, if I was pulling the strings. But and I think you go off track record too. Ryan Poles has executed a bunch of draft day trades. He did it in 2022 right off the bat. He did it several times last year, moving up and then, of course, moving back. But they don't have a lot of real estate to play with, so you do have to be pretty selective in the players that you are taking in this year's draft class. And some people have brought up the idea of, would they trade future draft capital to try to move into this year, into this year at some point. I don't rule it out. I feel like, obviously, like, next year's picks are not worth nearly as much as this year's picks, but like, they have a lot of them, and they have, I think it's 3 right now from other teams. So from the Dolphins, from the Patriots for the N'Keal Harry trade forever ago, and then what's the other one I'm missing right now? From the Panthers. 3.
Carolina.
3 right there. But I think, like, I would say number 1 should be a trade back, but like, every like mock draft I've done that has not had trades within it, like, I've seen a wide receiver go to the Bears at 9. The question after that is, like, if they do go that route, how do you fix the gap that's opposite Montez Sweat? Because yes, you saw improvement there significantly from him and from the rest of that defense once his addition started to like, once he was added to this group, but how I don't think the answer is currently on the roster for the player who's going to rush opposite him. Some people have floated the idea, what about re-signing Yannick Ngakoue if his ankle's healed and he's ready to go? I mean, he's 29 years old. That's not a bad spot for a pass rusher. That's like usually when those guys are starting to really hit.
Still a rotation piece.
But yeah, like that's what that would be.
Yeah.
He's a more one-dimensional pass rusher as we've known his entire career. He's not great against the run, and that's putting it nicely. But I don't think it has to be, oh God, if you don't find this guy at 9, then the pass rush is screwed. I think that there's other ways to maybe go more by committee on that other side. With DeMarcus Walker still on the roster. They've got some younger guys, and we'll see what happens with the.
So can I throw this out here to you, Courtney? And I think this is Phil and I talked about this a little bit, and I haven't heard too many people talking about it, but I look at it this way. If they don't go pass rusher at number 9 and one doesn't fall to them at 75, let's just say they stand pat. How did they acquire their pass rusher last year? They traded a second-round draft pick in season. They have 2 of them now. They can do that again if there's somebody that's available, like a Montez Sweat. You may not get your guy right now. You may have to wait a few games. Like, I think that the Bears, if I was the Bears, I'd go out and sign a guy like Mike Dana from Kansas City, just as a rotational piece, young guy with some upside, get him in there. And then if you have to make your move in season, you have your own pick and you have Carolina's. You can make some noise with that. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibilities at all, depending on how this draft shapes up.
I think, some of their smartest moves that they've made have been, I consider DJ Moore part of last year's draft class because of when he came in. I consider Montez Sweat and Keenan Allen part of this year's draft class because of the picks that were given up to go get them. And
exactly,
for somebody who is a firm believer like Ryan Poles, like, in the lifeblood of your program is building through the draft. That doesn't mean that you can't use draft capital to go get proven veteran talent on a team that needed it. And I think that you can look at those 2 additions specifically and the DJ Moore and Montez Sweat to see like how they contributed in year 1 when they were traded to Chicago, to feel that they have a good feel for the right time to strike for those opportunities. If something doesn't naturally, they didn't force it. I got to give them a lot of credit for that. Like, it took till week 9 for them to realize that like they had to go get pass rush help. And there were some opportunities that opened up for that trade to happen when they didn't think it was going to. But if they went that route now, like if they stand pat and people are like, okay, let's take a look at the draft class, no edge rusher. I don't think it's a massive time to panic. I do think that there will be guys that are brought in. And most of like the big names, and we just saw Jadeveon Clowney sign a 1-year deal coming off a career high 9.5 sacks with Carolina last week. There are less of those guys like sitting out right now, just like waiting to be signed, which is okay, because I do think that there is you gotta like walk before you can run. They don't need to make any sort of like all-in moves right now. Like they should be a wild card team this year. That should be like 9 wins. Going from 7 to 9 with this roster should be a more realistic expectation than, oh man, we got to start signing whoever's out there, like making a push towards a Super Bowl. That just feels very unrealistic to me, which, as they go cap planning and as they go like roster constructioning, how they're going to do it this year doesn't mean that every hole is going to be filled, but a lot of them have been. And that's a good spot for the team to be in.
I will say I think they are taking an edge rusher at 9.
Trust me, if it happens, I'm not going to be shocked. I'm just telling you, like, I think it's a trade back number 1, a receiver.
Or they could trade back if we've done the cluster of 5, the blue chip cluster, because we did it with my father, me and Shane, and
the biggest point is the wide receiver is so deep.
Yeah,
right.
This is finally like it's a class that like looks like 2020 again.
That's where I think we have to prepare. The pass rush class isn't as deep. So when you measure that, and I think those 3 pass rushers are outstanding. We broke them all down this past weekend, me, Shane, and my father. And
talking about Dallas Turner earlier.
Dallas Turner,
Jared
Verse, and Latu.
Yeah, the guy from UCLA.
Yes. Yep. Now, I would say the highest ceiling is Latu, but the injury concerns with his neck, that has to be approved by the doctors. If they give approval, then that kid is a stud. But all three of these guys are a stud. I think the highest ceiling, I should say, is Dallas Turner as a, closer, as a fastball pitcher. But I think Jared Verse is the best one. So either way, I would be fine with either three. For me, if I was picking at 9, it would be Verse. And he would then start out opposite of Sweat. And now you're cooking with Guy. I really believe all three of those guys are worth a top 10 pick. A guy like Leonard Floyd was picked in the top 10. He's not even in the space of these three players, in my opinion, on tape. So you get that. That's where the measurement of I have Olu Fashanu higher than everyone talks about all, but I have Olu number 1. Shane is all. And those tackles, I know some people have the kid from Oregon State.
Mm-hmm.
No, that is a right tackle or guard waiting to happen. He's not. Fuaga. Yeah, we'll show that, but you're not taking that. That's redundancy.
Mm-hmm.
It's either all or Olu. The kid from Washington has a lot of talent. I like him too, but I don't take him at 9. But those are blue chip players. Like the kid from Washington, he starts. He'll push to start. Olu starts over Braxton day 1. No doubt in my mind, he's that talented. All same thing. He'll start. So now you have to look at it like that. Those blue chip. And I think Ladd McConkey is a blue chip wide receiver. He's probably the most underrated player in this whole draft. I believe he's going to be talked about later on. And like, oh my God, how did they get him there?
Mm-hmm.
Shane believes he'll go in the first round.
I do. And you can see him in Kansas City. That will be awful.
But these types of things, based on this roster, every one of us know it's either wide receiver, tackle, or pass rusher. And this is what I've always told, and I'll share this with you, Courtney. Our fans know this. I call it the Holy Trinity. It's how my dad taught me. And it's a 4. It's not a 3. But it's the quarterback number 1. He is the most important piece to your team building. We haven't had that. We've also haven't won a Super Bowl. Does those things correlate? Yes. From there is pass rusher number 2. You have to have a dominant edge pieces. Last time we did have dominant edges, we've gone to Super Bowls. A Gunlier, opposite of Gunlier was Mark Anderson, closing. We know the stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
Richard Dent, Dan Hampton before that. We know these stories. Bears now have Montez Sweat. Who's going to be? All right. 3rd, offensive tackle. Boom. You got a shot at offensive tackles here. I love Darnell Wright. We called that before the draft last year.
Yeah, you guys did. I give you credit for that. You sure did.
Thank you. And then the last is corner.
Hope they keep
corner.
Keep him at right tackle, please.
Don't move him.
Don't move him.
Yes, you keep. The Bears have always moved.
I know.
It's ridiculous. Kyle Long should have been your left. He would have been in the Hall. I swear to God, on everything I love, Kyle Long would have been a Hall of Fame left tackle. I've never seen an athlete that big have those kind of feet and power. You just believe in it. Let's put him at guard. It was the dumbest thing ever. But anyway, corner, the Bears have. They've done an excellent job. He identified that. We all thought receiver. He went Kyler Gordon, Brisker, Stevenson. They re-signed Jalen Johnson. Jalen, as you've documented better than anybody, how impressive he was in his ascension as a Bear. They've locked that down. So they have the opportunity to take the best I've ever scouted. I've said it many times. Caleb, So now you're putting the Holy Trinity together here.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? Offensive tackle or defensive end? Because wide receiver isn't in that. We can get receivers. I'll find you some. Sign Hunter Renfrow tomorrow, and I swear to God, he'll help you. I'm serious.
And what you're saying aligns with what Ryan Poles told us last year. I think it was the season-ending press conference in 23, like out of the 2022 season, so like January of 23, about who are the players that you pay. How do you prioritize like funds more or less for free agency? And you're gonna pay for high quality offensive linemen, you're going to pay pass rushers, you're going to pay cornerbacks. I think he may have said receiver in there, but it wasn't until kind of the end. And it's not like if you have a Justin Jefferson or you have a Tyreek Hill or one of these like unicorns, more or less, that's different than, you know, those are the players that become your franchise stars and you keep them. But even a team like Kansas City didn't keep Tyreek Hill and they somehow made it work. Why? Because they got the first part of that, your Holy Trinity quadrant. Right. When they ended up paying the quarterback, because they found a great quarterback. But I don't think you can ever go wrong investing heavily in the trenches first and foremost, like on both sides of the line, which for me also includes a 3 technique. Now that's, I feel like, the biggest outlier to like this conversation. Are they ready for Gervon Dexter to take the next step? Like, is he capable of doing that? Do they feel like the playing time that gradually increased starting in that Chargers game after, you know, a slower start for him? He was a rookie, and so was Zach Pickens.
I didn't believe in this kid.
They had, you know, Justin Jones. I mean, Justin Jones, what an incredible contract for him to go get.
Can't believe it.
Like, good for him.
Believe it.
What the?
I know that was one of like anybody. Well,
yeah.
Mooney's. I will say Mooney's did not surprise me. Like, of any Bears player that went to go get a new deal somewhere else, Mooney's did not surprise me. I think a lot of people saw what they believed was the issue last year, and his pay is $26 million guaranteed in the however many 3-year whatever contract. That reflects that, what they think was the issue. But no, I mean, Justin Jones, that's a bigger gap than I think most people are talking about right now, because it's kind of an unknown still. 3 technique, which in this defense and in this day and age in the NFL, your edges are important, but who's denting the pocket? Who's the guy keeping the quarterback high in the pocket? So then like the guys on the edge can do their work. If Gervon Dexter's that guy, then that is a pick that they are feeling really, really good about after using a second on him last year. But you run into that he's still got some growing to do, like, you know, as a football player and all of those things, then you're wondering, all right, can we get by with it this year? Or is that something that, you know, look at the interior pass rusher market in free agency and look at all those guys who got paid. None of them except for Christian Wilkins left their team.
You know, if you look back to last year, they flirted a little bit with putting Dexter outside a few times.
Mm-hmm.
And not saying that that's going to be a move for them, but the 3 tech, I think 100% comes in play. I can't see them doing it at 9 so much, but if they move down, I'm not a Johnny Newton guy myself, but I'm a Byron Murphy guy. To me, he's got Matt Eberflus written all over him. It's like somebody lit his hair on fire and just said, go play football. And I think
I'm with Shane on that too, for the record. Yeah. I'm not a Johnny Newton guy. My dad isn't. What am my dad?
Yeah. Well, I did a show.
He's a third round guy.
I did a show with Corey Wooten the other couple of days ago, and he is all about Johnny Newton. He thinks he's as close to Tommy Harris as there is, and I there's some flashes there that are nice. I'm not ready to make that jump at all, but listen, in this defense, they always talk about it.
He was the biggest surprise for me, Dexter, because I was like,
I can remember when they drafted him, Phil. We thought initially that they were going to play him at nose, and actually, I think it was you, Courtney.
That's how he projected coming out of college, and he was.
I think it was you.
Courtney was
right
on
after
with
the
us
draft.
after the draft,
but I think it was even before that. She talked about him being at 3, and I'm like, man, really? They're going to play him at the 3 technique? I thought their move was play Gervon at nose and play
Pickens.
Dexter. Pickens was going to be the 3, and it was exactly the opposite.
Yeah.
Pickens hopefully is working hard on his craft.
So Dallas Turner was in Hallis Hall today, by the way, according to Peter Schrager, along with Caleb Williams. Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is their week that they're getting the heavy hitters in there.
Yeah.
And Caleb only taking one visit. I mean, that tells you everything you need to know. And that always annoys me.
They gave him the key card.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
That's
said,
what I said
like,
before.
here, we'll fill out the thing where you can put,
Yeah.
you know, they put their fingerprint in, like,
Yeah.
to get access. Like, we'll do it now. Like, we're going to be waiting the 10 minutes that are allotted because that's just how the draft works, to where, like, the coverage is dictated by, you know, all of that for, like, the first day or two. But it's going to be nobody's going to be on pins and needles except, like, wondering, all right, well, if there are not trades to alter the order from 2 through, let's say, 10, just to be safe. Like, then what happened? Like, is there going to be a mad dash in that point? Like, nobody's going to care about the Bears. Like, all right, Caleb Williams, great. Like, we know where he's going, but then it's like, all right, is somebody flying up the board to come at 3? Are the Giants trying to move up because they're afraid that Minnesota's going to jump them to 4? And if they want to go get JJ McCarthy, is their future?
Tony Pauline said today, I don't know if you know Tony Pauline at all.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. He said today, I'm telling everybody right now, you want the first curveball in the draft? It'll happen at number 3. And JJ McCarthy will be a New England Patriot. Said, write it down.
I could absolutely see that. I mean, hell, you just take a look at
Elliot Wolf is infatuated with the kid.
He's our number 2. Shane and I agree on 1 and 2.
Bears really liked him too, like, for what it's worth.
Christ.
Yeah.
I love it. Let's get through some of these for Courtney before she's got to leave because she's going to be on a red eye in the morning. Got to let her go.
If only they could have just gotten my flight out tonight, but oh well. Life isn't fair. Like, I've been preaching on this show.
Yes.
About the quarterback situation. Life isn't fair. Suck it up.
We almost didn't have you. So
I know.
selfishly,
It
I'm
actually worked
excited.
out great for that because I don't think I would have landed till, God, it probably would have been like right about now. So I would have missed like a bulk of the show. So I'm glad we were able to do this because I know how crazy these next couple weeks are. So I'm glad that we had the time to do this tonight.
I promised all these people I'll get them shouting you out and stuff. John Centino, $10. Thank you, John. MFFY. Do you know what that stands for?
I'm trying to
do?
do it. MFF.
Right there. It's a TTNL slogan conquered by your guy, Shane Marshall.
And you will never use it on ESPN, I promise.
I'm sure that it's probably profane.
Motherfucking facts, y'all.
I like
We're going to
it.
be putting those T-shirts out there, so maybe somebody will be wearing them at camp with Caleb.
So, Courtney, is Twitter going to burn itself alive if Caleb takes jersey number 1?
Oh God, I didn't even like.
I talked to Cap about this the other day. I said, Cap, are the Bears going to be forward thinkers? Because you think of the optics in Detroit with Caleb up there holding up the number 1 jersey. Are they going to be forward thinkers and have him with the Williams jersey with the number that he's picked out?
I mean, he wore 13 in college, so like,
well, the rumor there is
Keenan Allen's going to wear 13.
Yes,
that
I hope
Caleb's
Scott, whatever Tyler Scott does, I hope that he makes out like a bandit. Like, you know, Tyler Scott's a second-year player, like, you know, 4th-round pick. I hope that he, whatever the cost is, and obviously you can't be that guy, like welcoming the guy into your room, like running up a check. But I would just really hope that he's treated well. But
he was number 18 in high school.
If that
Caleb
number
was 18 in high school.
Yeah, I mean, God, this team has so many retired numbers.
I hate the retired numbers.
It makes it difficult.
It
like,
does.
You know,
but number 1 would be a pretty good victory lap, though, right? For everybody involved.
Yes, of course. I mean, there's definitely underlying reasons to take.
But if you're the owner,
tight to Justin Fields, it's more just that, like, I've always been of the belief with the numbers situation in Chicago and other places, you know. So one person will wear it, somebody else is going to wear it. I don't like the idea that you own this number. You're the only person who can wear
54, by the way.
34,
not retired.
anything like that.
Hey, if Shea McClellan can wear number 50, Caleb can wear number 1.
I don't know. That's one hill I won't die on. That's one thing that like I personally do not have as much of an emotional attachment to it. Like if somebody wore 34, of course you're going to always think of the greatest 34 to ever wear 34, which is Walter Payton. But like, Does that mean somebody else can't? I don't know. I mean, yes, by the logic of their retired numbers, they cannot. But I don't know about the number one thing. Like, if he wore number one, like, I don't know. If people are upset about it, like, that's just another thing for them to be upset about. They'll find something else after they get
Do you
used
think
to
Ryan Poles will think far enough ahead to have him have his own number at the draft when he gets the jersey?
I wonder how that works. Actually, I never really thought of that.
Usually everybody has number one.
Yes,
and then
like it's
yeah.
the like what do you call it? Like out of the box sort of jersey.
Yeah,
like,
Yeah, because it's going to be the football card.
But it's going to
and
be
the
number
photo.
one. I mean, we all know it, and that's pretty easy to do. I was just thinking about the optics of the whole situation.
What if he brought out number 0?
You can wear 0 now.
George would be pissed, right? Because George hates 0.
George hates 0, but
George
you can
hates
wear
Hard
0.
Knocks too. But
yeah,
he's
now
just a
I mean,
fan.
DeAndre Swift wore 0 in Philly, so he's got to get a new number 2.
He's number 4. He took 4.
Took 4. I was actually hoping Caleb would get 4. 3 plus 1, 1 plus 3 would be 4. But that didn't happen.
People going to be up in arms because he stole Eddie Jackson's number. I don't know.
No, they aren't.
Something else to be upset about. There's so much like to be outraged. Yeah. That is numbers and jerseys are the dumbest thing to be outraged by. Just my personal take.
I'm not a big fan of 18 though, Courtney. I hope he goes someplace different than 18. Not a big 18 fan.
See, 18.
Peyton Manning.
That's what he was in high school. Was 18.
Mike Tomczak.
Well, I know the 18 from from LSU. Like, so when I covered Justin Jefferson, I remember talking to him about why you wear an 18 because 7 is the number that the best player at LSU always wears. So it was like Tyrann Mathieu wore it, Patrick Peterson wore it. And then like 18, I think was not available. Justin Jefferson's the year that he exploded. So he wore 18. He wore 18 in the league. And like, he's the first person I think of now that wears that number. I know a lot of receivers do. But like when they expanded the rules were for like positions to be able to like move around and wear different numbers. So you see like just like badass, like single digit guys like playing, skill position. I love it. Like I personally love it. But it doesn't mean that like I'm not gonna like somebody else's number. I don't know. Like maybe that's one thing I don't know. I'm not like super into it one way or the other. Sometimes it's weird if you see a defensive end wearing like a single digit number, like that's still kind of jarring to me, but I don't, to each their own, it's their own personal preference. But if it causes a firestorm, I like they're running out of numbers. That's, I think, the easiest way around that.
On tip
but
jar,
it is interesting that they haven't
Courtney the best ever
issued 13 to Keenan Allen yet.
Thank you, Steve.
Yeah, I guess there's still time. Maybe they'll let the guys get to OTAs before they do that, or like, on the process of that, which technically their first workout's April 15th, or their first day of the offseason programs, April 15th. So maybe it happens around then. I would assume so.
Vernon F, $2 after the post on the page, the desperation. I don't know what he's talking about. Frank Hacks, prayers up for Mongo. Yeah. Absolutely. $9.99.
Supposed to be home tonight, by the way.
Frank Hacks again. Bear down. I love Courtney Cronin, says Frank. See, we're giving you love here, Courtney.
Thank you guys for donating. This is great.
HL Priest, $2. Welcome home, Courtney. The GOAT on Keeping It 100. Guys, crowning her. Isaac Siegel, $20. Thank you, Isaac. Courtney Cronin, you are elite and underappreciated. Also, with Flus's comments about getting a blue chipper with a 9th pick and really feeling it's Rome or Byron Murphy, Shane, with that pick, which paired up with Dexter should be fire. What do you say about that, Courtney?
I think that though that aligns with what Flus said at owners meetings last week. I mean, they kept their options. They weren't going all over the place, which it makes sense. Like you've got three considerable positions of need. Receiver has been handled in a good way this offseason, but you can never have like enough receiver depth when that was such an issue for them the last couple of years. But their biggest need, if you're looking at like pure need right now, it's edge rusher.
Yeah.
Like need alone, like not like best player available who might be there at 9, but like need alone, you need another edge rusher. So at 9 with the depth of the quarterback position, the depth of the receiver position, and like you expect like 2 offensive tackles in there, and then like there's a very realistic possibility 1 through 8's offense, and then they have their pick of like any defensive player they want. That would be like the dream scenario, I think, where they would not move out of 9.
One more interesting note that Tony Pauline talked about. He said, do not be surprised if Atlanta goes off course at 8 and selects a corner.
Yeah, because the Raiders want one at, what are they, 13?
Well, he was he specifically tied Terrion Arnold.
Yeah,
People that he's talked to is
he'll be the
screaming up the draft boards.
He's phenomenal.
Yeah,
we don't need a corner. So
no. I was talking about that would leave you with the pick of
the litter.
Yeah, you'd still have your pick of the among the best defensive players. Like,
I want you to text me right when we're on, and you just say they're going this, and then whoever wins out of the 3 of us owes dinner when we come to Chicago. Anyway, Isaac Siegel, $2. He wants you to know GoldenEye's available on Xbox.
I don't have an Xbox.
She doesn't have it.
Well, if you do buy a system, go Xbox, because that's what all smart people do.
That. Pat, the designer, I do not hate you, by the way. Courtney, Scottish Bear, 50
pounds.
50 pounds. That's what I need to lose.
US dollars?
Yeah, it's like $7,000 in American dollars now with this market, right?
Courtney, you are the best. Love from Scotland. TTNL family for life. Look at you, Scottish Bear. You're making her blush. It's a good sign. Robert Nash, the people who crap on Caleb for stupid reasons and false narratives should not be allowed to celebrate his success. Hashtag MFFY. Hashtag chase greatness. Yes, I agree with you. So does Courtney, which I got out of that.
Yeah, there it is. Jack will put up the conversion rate.
63.25.
63.25.
Yeah, almost $7,000.
Yeah.
Can you give us 50 pounds for the football? A youth football program I'm trying to raise, please. Anyway, HL Priest, $2. No excuse, Courtney. Fanatics does a jersey exchange now. They do?
Yeah, but you can't go bad. There's a time limit on that. It's like if you buy a jersey and the player is traded within, I think, 90 days or whatever like that, you can turn it in. Yeah.
That's the worst contract ever signed.
Right.
90 days. Give us 3 years.
Yeah.
3 years. At least a discount like Apple does, right, Shane?
Yeah, I don't think you could take like a David Montgomery jersey now and like go turn it in and get like, so I don't.
It should give you $20 off the price if you want to do that. That there should be some, if they assess it when it arrives, like, yes, this is.
You can do the name. You can do the nameplates on Amazon. There's an actual store there. Yeah, and you can
just like sew it over what is currently there.
And it's a carbon copy. Like you pick,
there it
you
is.
Go in there and you get the Bears script on the name, everything. Yeah, so you can change your demo to Terrell Smith.
There you
go. Be happy.
Actually, Jackal has an update. It's 365-day return.
Nice.
They give you a year. That's not that bad.
No, that's not that bad.
See, the Justin Fields fans, they were trying for that 4th year. It should be 4 years. We can get our money back.
Advisable, $5. TTNL fam, just a couple more weeks till greatness. Caleb, bear the F down. Yes, and the last one before we let our people are doing it as I thought we were ending. $10 bill. If TTNL had a Hall of Fame of guests or 4 guests, Courtney gets in on her first ballot. We're lucky she covers our favorite sports team. I have to double down. I'll give 50 pounds on that. I agree with you, Bill. Thank you, Bill. Courtney, you are a Hall of Famer. Jibby Guy, $5. Does Courtney have a man, and does she like younger guys?
It came out of left field.
Yeah. I'm sure she's totally interested in you, Jibby.
Jibby Guy.
Mom, I met a guy on Phil and Shane's show. His name's Jibby. You're gonna love him.
She's upstairs. I'm staying at her house tonight. You want to go get her?
Yes.
Yeah,
We're
go
still
get her.
waiting
She
for
probably-
her.
It's
in her
9:15.
Keepin' at
There's some
100.
CBS show that she's probably watching. Whatever's on.
Oh,
she's
my
or-
parents are the same way. The CBS shows.
You know, I'm not a network
FBI.
TV person like with those shows, but I will watch Blue Bloods. That show
My
slaps.
father loves Blue
God, I
Blood.
love Blue Bloods. Tom Selleck, like just every role he just crushes.
He's outstanding in that.
I want to
role.
go to one of those family dinners, like after you know
Right?
the show's ending and they're kind of like recapping, like oh,
We meet
like
up.
yeah, like somebody almost died. My daughter, who's the assistant attorney general, like you know, did something that was like you know the antithesis of what the daughter cop or daughter-in-law or daughter cop, the girlfriend, like whatever she is. Like it's a great show. It's a great show. It's the only one I'll watch.
Let's see it.
I'm not a Fire Country gal. Yes,
There it
this.
is. There it is. Look at Jackal
This is
pulling it up.
Great.
He's giving it life advice there.
Yeah.
How could you not?
The best
police
mustache on
chief.
TV.
He does have a great mustache for years. The Claim Squad public adjuster. Is he also looking to know if you're single?
Yeah, Jibby's got some competition.
I'm so scared of Bulls picking a wide receiver in later rounds that I prefer he take Rome at 9. What do you say, Courtney? Are you afraid of that?
I wouldn't be afraid. I think that this truly is a far deeper draft class. And if you're saying take one in later rounds, could you get one in the 3rd round at 75 potentially?
Yes.
But I just feel like they're going to try to make up that gap between 9 and 75. Because even last year when the gap was like 10 to, you know, initially where they were at like 61 or 64. And they ended up moving up in the 2nd round. They'll get Tyreek Stevenson. So like they're sitting patient, and it's a good idea in theory. And when I talk with Ryan Poles, we had a one-on-one at owners meetings. I asked him like, so are you like stressed about this? Not only having 4 picks, because that's kind of an anomaly. And he said, no, just because of the strength of this year's draft class. And it is a better draft class than last year's, from the quarterback position to wide receiver to, you know, even with like the, you know, the edge rusher group this year is better than last year's groups. And those are all positions of need for this team. So I think they're in a good spot.
Well, we're in a good spot. Like Bill said, I'll bring it back. The Hall of Fame of guests.
Thanks, Bill.
We love you here, Courtney. Thank you so much for your time tonight. Thank you for your truth and venting with us and keeping it 100, just like the show says.
And fuck off, Jibby. Right? I'll say for it.
I just gave you $5. You're gonna tell him to fuck off?
No, he was defending your honor because he did say respectfully.
Yeah, there you go.
In parentheses, he's trying.
Thank you, Shane. I know you
He's
got
taking
me.
a shot. He's taking a shot. Anyway, we appreciate you. We will talk to you after the draft, hopefully, and get your reaction and your thoughts.
You're going to be in Detroit for the draft, or
No,
what's your draft plans?
They typically never send us. Like, I mean, if the draft is in your city, because everything.
This
I mean,
is the biggest moment. You should be there of all people.
The team is at Hallis Hall, just like every team's at their facility. So, like, that's more important in terms of
context.
Yes, and like talking to, you know, the GM and the coach and the player the next day, but like the night of, like there's so much stuff to unpack that I think for more TV purposes, they will have people there. Like a lot of the local TV people will be there. And I know that the prospects talk, the ones who were there, like especially night 1, but we'll get Caleb. I mean, typically that's a Friday morning, Friday afternoon sort of thing before round 2. So there's plenty to be done at Hallis Hall.
That's true. But
Just
Caleb is going to be
don't
there.
let Larry Mayer have the first question.
Yeah, can you stiff arm Larry?
I don't think Larry's asked the first question in a while. I think most of us usually was getting like yelling matches over each other.
People are getting fired up. I like
You were
it.
keeping track. You were kicking ass at
we were praising you.
Was it the
Which
combine?
press conference was this?
The combine.
Might have been the combine. Because you were, I think you got like 4, maybe even, it was like either 4 or 5. We were talking to Greg
That's
Braggs.
what we got called home.
Yeah.
You guys are homers. You're cheering on Courtney and Greg. I'm like, they're doing the best job.
Bragg's like, yeah, I got 2 questions. I was surprised. I'm like, yeah, Cronin got 5, Greg. She was out there. It was either 4 or 5. I forget what it was.
Yes,
but no, it was
Courtney has worn our swag on
I
the
have.
air.
I wore it on when I filled in for Cap in
Yep.
December. I wore the hoodie.
Yes, it's
Love
in
that
her. It's in her promo. Sheri was putting up comments during her intro, so I'm gonna text it to you so you could see it without
Yeah,
the
no, please
comments.
do. I love it. You guys did great with that.
We love you here. Thank you. Please have a safe travel. Are you
Thank
taking
you.
a break? Is this a vacation?
No,
or business?
like I'm in the middle of like a stretch
story?
of hosting some panels, so I'm kind of going all over. I'm up in Minneapolis next week too. It's just there's really no break until probably like there's a couple weeks in May. Like there's a week in May between when OTAs start. That's kind of like the dead period ish, like between rookie camp and then OTAs. That's kind of like the first quiet stretch you'll get.
TTNL go.
And I mean, hell, the team's now going to the the Hall of Fame game, so there's really no summer.
Yeah. So,
We
who do you
might
think the
see you at
Vikings
that.
want real quick? Do you think they want May or do they want JJ?
I think they want JJ McCarthy.
There you
They're
go.
going to be the team to watch. They didn't just trade that pick to go get Houston's pick at 23 to do nothing with it. They are going to try like hell to move up.
So if Tony Pauline's right, they're going to be pissed.
Yeah, I mean, hell, if they can't get to, what'd you say, New England at 3 was where that was going. If they can't, I think the like sweet spot is you have to get in front of New York.
Yeah.
I know some people have said like, oh, that's Malik Neighbors. If like, if the Cardinals stay put at 4, if they don't, and then like, what are the Chargers going to do? That's a receiver off the board there. I think that the Giants are in a prime position to take a quarterback right there. Even if they think Daniel Jones is going to come back healthy and it'll be fine, whatever. I think that if you're Minnesota, you're thinking you have to get at least to 5 just to get in front of them.
Let this woman go, man. Yeah. She's got a long day and she needs some sleep. Thank you so much. You know her from ESPN. She covers the Bears.
We just got another $5,000, by the way. Look at that.
Thank you. Yeah, Greg didn't donate to my youth football program.
Come on, Greg.
I sent him, can you help out this program? I didn't send it to Courtney because I don't want pressure. I get nervous with asking people.
So you just told it to her live. You just told it to her live on air.
I know.
To not apply pressure.
But this dude put it in the comment. That's why I was responding to it, but I didn't put it up. But anyway, I will send it to you.
Yeah, please do.
Thank you, Courtney. No problem.
All right.
Jack, oh, you asshole.
Thanks, guys. I'll see you after the
All right, Courtney.
Yeah.
All the best. Safe travels.
Bye.
Thank you. God bless. Tell your mom we said hi. Tell her Sibby's on the prowl.
Jibby.
Hands down, the best of the best. Courtney Cronin. Did you like how I played hands down in there, Shane?
Yeah, he's back. Our guy is back.
There has been an apology, a eulogy. Did you ever get my music so I could do my sermon? Or no, it didn't.
Oh, I didn't know you wanted it for tonight. My bad.
Fuck.
Yeah, my bad. I
had a whole thing planned for hands down. You hear this song, Jackal? Hope. There's hope again in Chicago. Because the Bears have not only Chris Jackal back, who was mentioned twice by Funkster Jones. Did you notice that?
We saw that. How we doing?
How are you? Look at you.
Haven't changed from work. Same clothes you saw me in 6 hours ago.
Hey,
he's got the Bears zip up with the Chicago Bears plaid.
A little color match,
Look at
We'll try,
Jackal does put together his outfits, man. The night before, he's that guy.
Morning up, all right? Morning up, all right?
His wife sets it all out. It's all pressed.
Gotta pick it up off the lawn.
Christopher,
setting it up,
this blue and orange plaid's gonna look great with your Bears zip up.
Yes,
fantastic. Brings out the gray in my hazel eyes.
Jackal's had a couple rough weeks, man. So we got to be light on him. I gotta give
Take
him
it easy.
I always take some shots at you, but
I love the Justin Fields slander where you always Jackal was the he loved Justin.
You were.
Fields.
You have to. You were holding on to the teat.
I was a Justin Fields fan, yes.
That's how you make crystal meth.
motherfuckers.
Well
That's
played.
beautiful. That was
Drop,
awesome.
Shane.
That was
That
awesome.
was good.
And
But-
Caleb, I trust.
I have comedic timing, Phil. Believe
Yes,
it or
you
not.
do. I was saying, hands down, has apologized. He blocked Shane. He went rampant. Did you ever find out what it was originally? Did you go back?
So real quick, this is from Albert Breer.
Hold on. Breaking news.
Well, yeah, it's just
I'm not smart.
Oh, yeah.
Just an update. The Bears' 30 visit with Caleb Williams took place today. As Waddle and Sylvie said, he was part of a larger group that included Alabama outside linebacker Dallas Turner, Oklahoma offensive tackle Tyler Guyton. Sources said several veterans such as DJ Moore and Tyreek Stevenson were on hand also.
That's really great news, and we didn't get to talk much with Courtney about it, but I think it's a big showcase that they went out for dinner the night before just with Caleb.
Yeah.
And some veteran players on the Bears, obviously setting the tone for what is about to happen in Chicago Bears football that we here at TTNL have tried to prepare our fans for. And I am going to focus on those amazing fans that have cheered us on along the journey, that either have said, you know what, I was there and now I'm here. You guys opened my eyes to this. Thank you so much. And it's been so much focus on negative that at the end of this show, especially with Courtney doing such an amazing job, kind of taking you behind the curtain, what she might have had to deal with as a reporter reporting the truth. Me and Shane had to deal with it. So it's our show, and we're going to talk about whatever comes up every time. There's no script here. And this guy right here has been in my eyesight for a long time because the Chicago Bears have not, no matter where your fandom has lied, have not had the opportunity to have that ace card in the hole. They just haven't had it. And when you do the work we do, and I've had people not be friends with me over this shit. And it's insanity on their part, because I will analyze Caleb just like I did Justin. There'll be none.
Yes, you will.
There's nowhere to hide. But the reality of what I've done, breaking down this stuff, and this isn't a shot at Shane or anybody else. Shane knows how much time it takes in your life to do this. So you're coming from the most educated spot and not pretending that you have figured it out and that you've uncracked the fucking code that isn't even there. We're saying this is the fucking tape. I don't give a fuck who you are, what you've done. Show me that I'm wrong with this tape. There's been no one. There's no challenger to that. And I won't go on any podcast ripping anybody and being inappropriate and crazy. We have been labeled a certain way that isn't the truth. And we've been here, and here's somebody confessing their truth. Jan, He-Man, and the Masters of the Universe.
Could be Jan.
Jan.
I have a buddy that's named
Oh,
the
Jan,
powers.
does it like that, yeah.
And the power
Jan
of
Heyman.
Grayskull. He-Man. Imagine if your last name was He-Man.
Yeah.
And the power. Thank you.
See,
How is it? Say it again.
What?
Jan?
I just love the randomness of
you saw
our
that?
chat.
I was like, huh?
Oh my fucking God, bro. We did a town hall on that one, Hector. You can go into the Patreon and go back, and we'll tell the whole story of that. That's so far in the rear
We
view.
moved on to what we wanted to do. That's it, and we're
That's the cliff notes.
couldn't be happier.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the
I
longest
would
short right
die
there.
for Hunter Renfro. Who put that up there? Nicholas?
Yeah.
There it is. Oh my God. I would just.
Woot said that the other day. He said
Did
he'd
he?
go out and he'd go out and sign. Well, he talked about Tyler Boyd or Hunter Renfro. So go
Hunter Renfrow is an expert route runner who separates.
He's concerned that the Bears are not going to look at defensive line just because of Caleb Williams. That their main concern is going to be, we need to get more for him.
I think that was one of the powerful moments of the show tonight, talking about the Holy Trinity of what we talk about here with her and her bringing it back, because I didn't hear that interview with Ryan Poles. So the Bears have been on the same kind of rhythm pattern as TTNL since last year when Darnell Wright was selected. And obviously with Caleb Williams and not listening to the noise and the people on their front porches yelling, "Stay off my lawn. I'm no longer a Bears fan.
I'm gonna sue
you. That. I'm gonna sue you.
I'm gonna call you names.
I'm not gonna." I had someone jump in my post on Facebook, completely attack me, the network, and everybody.
Oh my God, Greg, droning on and on. Shut the fuck up, dude.
It wasn't Greg.
But I love that drop.
Greg does need to donate Scottish Bear. But then they go and run away and post stuff on their social media. I mean,
oh, yeah.
You're the aggressor.
Yep.
You're the person creating crazy chaos.
In
what are we doing here?
The great words of Ryan Cox.
Yes.
Don't let that bother you. That chick is currently at home talking to her toaster. So,
well, I just don't understand it. Like, it's like I don't get anybody's approach to hanging on to some bullshit theory like Zach Sullivan. I don't understand Zach at all. I love Zach. I don't understand what you're hanging on to, where you're coming from, and what universe you're thinking that somehow, some way they're going to get a haul, make a trade. Caleb is the best.
Well, they're drafting Caleb Williams.
They traded Justin to try to get Caleb. That's it. Because they
talk
saw
about other scenarios, but
Jaden Daniels isn't in the conversation.
It's not.
He isn't. He's not good. He's not at the level that we're talking. I mean, I should clarify. He's not as good as Caleb Williams. I'm going to come up with my rankings, but obviously I've shared with Caleb won by a long mile with JJ McCarthy 2. I happen to like Penix, and we'll talk about this and see where he goes. But the injury concerns and the age are there, but I like a lot of what Penix brings to the table. I know Matt Waldman likes him a lot too. Jaden Daniels or Drake May, Shane? What would you do?
If I had
you're Jaden, right?
No. I would draft Drake, and I'm not a Drake May fan.
I'm with you.
I would draft Drake May over Jaden Daniels all fucking day long.
I have Drake May over Jaden Daniels
all day long.
So when I see,
I'm not a big fan of Drake May.
Either am I. I don't know, like the infuriate, and it's only because I wanted to like Dan Orlovsky.
He farts on the air.
Jesus.
I did. I wanted to like him, but the negligence in his, what was that tweet? I mean, I know we need to bring back dumbest tweets.
He did it again. He did it again today.
Yeah, that tweet that someone called him out, and he open-faced bold lies. Like, what?
I can get it right here. I think Ryan Cox sent it to us.
It's fucking insanity.
Yeah, so our guy Gustavo tweeted to Orlovsky. Orlovsky, Dan said, "I'd love to sit down with guys and ask a question. This is one I'm sure teams are doing just as well. Something out of nothing but something, talking about Caleb Williams." And Gustavo says to him, "Serious question. If this is your concern about Caleb, how do you possibly have Jaden as your QB1? This is significantly more frequent in Jaden's game than Caleb's in the slighter frame on top of it, which is 100% true. And Dan says it absolutely isn't, and it's not even remotely close. Okay.
You've just lied.
What?
It's just insanity, man. And I know I wear my passion on my sleeve. I do.
Right.
I've never pretended that I don't. I just to know.
I think that's our point, Zach. Is
that's the problem, Zach.
That's
not what we do. You get on and you recognize the talent. That's what TTNL is doing.
But that's fine. I mean, fans can do that, and so, but that's not how we.
But this is where where the negligent gray area. See, I'm not. There's no gray with me. There's only this and that, this or that, black sheep, this or that.
You had to get with this.
Exactly. Caleb Williams wants to be wanted. He wants to win. He wants to be a legendary. These things he said and has been attacked for. Other players that have no wants, that just want to get paid, are adored and loved. But, Pink nailed it. And Zach, you're projecting that Caleb Williams doesn't want to be in Chicago with the Bears. You've projected that, whether it be in your brain or some asshole made up the story, which it did, and it ran. You're projecting that instead of saying this is the most talented
guy. Have to come out and say. I mean, Caleb Williams came out and essentially called out Colin Cowherd for that exact point. Said that he didn't want to be anti-Chicago.
He went on, called his people and said, shut the F up.
Get shut off, man. Yeah.
Because we don't believe in that. So, I mean, come on. It's ridiculous. The Caleb Williams hate needs to stop. It's sad.
Oh, it'll be something else next week.
This was the chapter and verse. My football team, our youth program, give.thetapeneverlies.com. It's give.thetapeneverlies.com. We're purchasing new uniforms and football equipment every dollar. That means $5, $25. Some people have given so generously. We can't thank you guys enough. I was saying, I walked into the board meeting Tuesday night, and the president and the flag commissioner started crying because I can't even see. Not gonna lie, you'll have to read who was there, but the fact that I can't see anything, it's like blurry in my eyes. For me.
You are getting old, sir.
I am. I could put on my glasses. I'll be able to see it. James.
Is that better?
James Prodinsky. Michelle Kliss. Darnell Hubbard. Creighton.
That's Sheri's.
Oh, really?
Darnell Hubbard, yeah.
Darnell, man. Thank you so much.
Let's go.
Creighton Clifford. Frank Hacks. Look at Alex H. keeping it 100 from Canada.
Well
Steven,
done, guys.
$10. Watch a kick. This is happening as we're doing the show. Look at this. There you go.
Kevin Zimmerman.
Mike Hall.
Kevin Zimmerman. Mike Hall's in there. I don't see Chris Jackal. I'm just saying.
Motherfucker.
Do you know how much? You know how expensive orange and blue plaid?
Dude, this shit doesn't buy itself, dude.
I've been trying to.
There's like 2 broken buttons on this fucking shirt, and that's why it's under the hoodie.
Funkster Jones, if you open the show, you'll end the show as well later in a few minutes. But that's where you're going to donate. And honestly, I just want to finish this thought. Thank you, Corn. Thank you so much. I can't thank you guys enough, because these people that have either disbelieved in us and what I said, and I have admitted it, TTNL for life, strong. coming through for us has been one of the most important and impressive moments for us in this town. And Coach Fish is like, fuck this. We're naming the stadium TTNL Stadium.
Love it.
He's pushing for that, for real, because of you fans. So that means a lot to us. And thank you so much. I will send it to Courtney. I will.
Speaking of Courtney, can I ask
Yes.
you a question? Came up with the chat, how everyone loves her.
Yes.
Is she on the Mount Rushmore of TTNL guests?
Courtney? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She's one of the
Easy.
4?
Yep.
Easy.
Easily.
You know what? Well, there's 2 factors into why. Obviously, she brings an understanding of what the show is and embraces the real truth. And she also cares. Like, there's someone could come on here and just put on, okay, a show. And put on a show. But I really genuinely believe, and that might be just me selfishly, but I think when someone like believes in you and your network, they make themselves available. Like, she was stuck on a tarmac 2 hours ago, Chris.
I know.
Hustled home. It's like, Phil, I'll be ready to go. That just says a lot. That'll be a show after the draft, or maybe leading up to the draft.
Yeah. That was a good question.
It is the
curious.
top. What do we go, Shane? Top 5s or top 10s?
Well, Rushmore's 4. So you got to kind of.
Yeah, Courtney's up there. Waldman's definitely easily on there. Matt Waldman.
Guess who's coming back in 2 weeks' time?
Let's
see if I know you know.
Yeah.
Do you know who's coming back on Keepin' It 100, Jackal?
Oh. I want to say, if it's draft time, I would love to say.
Here's a hint.
Here's
coming back.
He plays the same position as these guys.
No, this isn't the centers, Shane. Those are tackles.
No.
I didn't make a graphic.
I'm talking about the line.
Oh, I said it. I'm
Not
sorry.
Zorich.
Yeah.
Unless that dragon was fucking a goat.
Not Alan
I'm
Bratcher.
surprised no one has gotten it yet with the hints Shane and I just
thought
did.
Zorich, but no. Not defense.
Coming back, he's been there. It is.
Olin.
Should we give this guy?
Really? I love it. Oh,
Olin
awesome.
Krutz coming back
Olin.
in 2 weeks. Big O.
And I can
April
guarantee you, when we say Olin, what do you want him to do at number 9?
Joel.
Fuck.
He's not going to say wide receiver.
Joel.
I couldn't pass Joel.
I want to know I want to know who he likes. I haven't texted him.
He was on Twitter the other day, and he said, I find it very, very funny that fans in season, and it does. He's at 100% right. And before I did what we do here, just as a fan, you can fall into that trap. In season, you're complaining about the offensive line all the time. Draft rolls around, you love the big flashy wide receiver, or stuff like that, rather than the offensive lineman. But I mean, Phil, all things considered, let's just say Fashanu went before Alt. If Alt was on the board for you at number 9, can you pass him?
No.
Oh man,
I
am all in. I'm at Jared Versland.
Yeah,
that's my guy.
I want Alt if he's available though.
But
oh my goodness,
I like Jared Verse, but I'm not as high on him as you. And I see definite stiffness in his game.
I love him.
Yeah,
I have the heavy fucking hands, just throw people around. I'm a big fan.
Oh, I wouldn't.
I would any 3 of those. I think the pass rusher trumps it because of the depth that isn't there.
Yeah. Well, and it's also one of those positions
so
that
powerful.
you'd like to lock. You have a guy making a shit ton of money in Montez Sweat.
Yeah.
And you get a young guy across.
You're talking about cost control, yeah.
Am I going to be pissed off? No.
You can't be, right?
I would never. If they decided Alt or Fashanu, or I would be pissed off if they took the kid from Oregon State. I'll be truthfully honest. I don't see.
I don't see how they could play him at left tackle. To me,
They
that would mean
can't.
that they're
That's what I'm
moving.
saying.
To me, that would mean they're moving. And when I see Fuaga, I think he has the makings. He could be a top flight offensive guard.
Right, I'm with
and
you.
I had misspoke on a few shows ago when I was talking about Fatanu in my head, but I was speaking Fuaga.
Right, that's why you confuse me. I'm like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about?
Yeah, but I think Fatanu is 100% in play. For the Bears.
Fuaga to me is a right tackle or guard, 100%. He's too top heavy. He's very physical.
Yeah. So
but
let's
he's
just talk about this,
lurch-like.
and I think that this is gonna play into this also. And I'm on the offensive line train, but we've broke down Caleb Williams enough to know that Caleb is gonna make Braxton Jones a better left tackle.
100. I was gonna say it with Courtney.
You cannot dismiss that.
Fans have these assholes.
I know.
Like dumbasses that don't watch tape and have a network and go on there and can't show their fucking face. They will say shit, but the reality is, I'll put my face here. Caleb Williams creates time by doing a dance with the help that he gives his offensive linemen. That is Aaron Rodgers like.
Maybe he takes number 12.
Dude.
Bayless sure as fuck.
Bayless, get the fuck out.
Bye.
Dude, I think you just hit it.
Yeah.
Because that's his Walter Payton. Like it, you know, I wanted to wear number 30.
Move Bayless to running back.
Put 32 on Bayless. Well, Terrell Smith has it. Put his running back number on Bayless. I think Bayless is a likable dude, but you're right.
He just never should have been drafted.
He's old enough.
That was his worst pick.
Yeah,
by far. Phil, we reacted to it live on it. Do you remember who was on with us live that night?
Yeah, Matt Waldman.
And
Waldman called it right in the moment.
I was fucking sick to my stomach.
I wanted Romeo so bad. Now he's in Packer land.
Not yet, Alexander. It'll be after the draft this year.
Yeah.
When they announce it.
Yeah.
My son has asked me that question like 12 times. Because he wants to see Caleb so bad.
Oh, yeah.
This show is like utopia for me. Lawrence Chrisman. Thank you. And Lawrence did say that he just donated to.
Yep.
So thank you.
And he liked Justin Fields before, but you converted him, just so you know.
There's
another
I don't make
man.
this stuff up. I don't make this stuff up.
He's
I can
coming
read.
to my support when you're shitting on me is what he was doing.
Andres Zapata 2 minutes ago, $100, and Lawrence.
Really?
Yep. 8 minutes ago, $10. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much, bro.
Appreciate it.
I got a really nice DM from where is he? Porter Ellison. Said TTNL Network has taught me what to look for in players across the board. I love you guys. Fucking love you, DDP and Shayne.
And if you are a TTNL Network patron, which if you are not at this point, especially this time of year, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. You are going to see these two guys that we were just talking about.
We are going to break those
Fatanu tomorrow night.
No, we're not doing that tomorrow night.
Friday night.
Friday
when
night.
are we doing it?
No, because I'm leaving, so I couldn't put all of it together. So we're going to do the centers tomorrow night.
Oh, so you're pulling the okie doke. That's
I
what
am.
you're talking
That's
about.
what I was trying to say.
Disregard that.
You're doing centers tomorrow night.
We're going to do
Blame me. That was
everybody's favorite center from Oregon. And we're going to look at...
You want some breaking news on that?
Sure. What do you got?
He's not my top center.
Oh,
there it is.
Is he your top center?
No. I have Graham Barton.
I love Graham Barton.
Is he your top center too, Shane?
Graham Barton. I think Graham Barton could easily be a first-round draft pick.
Really?
Graham Barton is my top center. Omaha. Tell him.
Emery Hunt has
Omaha,
Jackson
Omaha.
Powers Johnson which I'm not this low on him.
No.
He's got him as his 5th ranked center.
I saw him
Emery
going in
Hunt
the
does.
third round in some mocks.
Who do you have as your number one? Zach?
Me? No. Graham Barton.
Oh,
Mine.
so you're on the same
page.
we haven't talked about this, guys.
No, I talked to you about Graham Barton before because a lot of people don't consider him because he was playing offensive tackle.
I also think the kid from UConn, Haynes, can play center as well, but he is going to be the top guard. Barton, as Gordon is telling us, my guy.
Well, this is
30
the thing
visit
that
with the Bears.
I should have brought up with Courtney, and I had it in my head to bring up, and then we got busy. Is I want to know the confidence level with Teven Jenkins and Nate Davis with this team, because I think that there's huge question marks. Not as much with Teven play wise, but Nate had a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Is there a motivation issue there?
Durability with Teven.
He had some issues
are you
regarding what's it called beforehand, to your point.
How much are you willing to pay Teven, who is in a contract year?
Yeah.
That's a big part of this draft also.
Yeah.
I agree. Teven, you all know how I feel about him. Again, much like Kyle Long, I feel like Teven could have been the tackle, and I think that would have prevented a lot of his injuries with his back. Just comes with the position at guard. If you just look at it, you're down in your stance, colliding.
How they pay him right now, Phil?
Yeah,
what's that?
I don't know how they pay Teven.
He has to have an outstanding, consistent, injury-free season. The same thing that I felt with Cole Kmet. They ended up paying Kmet before, which to your point, they saved some.
Not have the injury history,
right? But I'm saying that same thing that I was like, all right, you're gonna have to show me. Listen, Cole did. Cole improved and took it to heart. Someone told me, little birdie told me he heard my criticism of him. Man, if I fucking help him, hey, great.
And the way that the market played out at tight end this year, you better thank your fucking lucky stars you paid him.
That's what I'm saying. To your credit, you got that right.
Polls, I think, kind of forecasted that market and got ahead of that early and said, you know what?
Yeah, like I'm a fan of Tony Pauline, but he was talking today. They did a mock draft and he had the Bears. He had Marvin Harrison drop into 6 to the Giants. Everybody keeps on, and I talked about this
neighbors
before.
says LA.
No, I don't. I think Joe Alt is going to be a Charger all fucking day long.
So neighbors was looking at houses today in LA after his visit with the Chargers. I don't know how much truth there is to that.
Who did that?
Neighbors.
I cannot see Jim Harbaugh drafting a fucking wide receiver in the top 5.
Who are they going to throw to?
They'll find a wide receiver in a deep draft.
Yeah, true. Maybe they go get T. Higgins.
I think Nate Davis deserves a shot to see where he goes. I believe he was.
Well, they're not going to move off of him financially this year, but after this year, they would. But I mean, it's a definite concern as it is with Teven Jenkins.
Well, Teven Jenkins has shown signs of sheer superstar offensive lineman power and ability. What he has done on tape, like in the NFL, makes you laugh.
Love this.
Holy fuck.
Breaking news. The Tape Never Lies Network. Breaking news.
All signs are pointing to the Bears drafting Caleb Williams.
Oh,
according to our guy Jeremiah. We know we're just busting balls here. Do y'all believe the NFL will allow polls to announce the pick before the draft? No.
Nope.
They used to be able to agree to terms on a contract. That will not happen.
No.
If you listen to Brandon Beane last week, the general manager of the Buffalo Bills, and this is especially important for the people that are still holding on for whatever reason that Caleb won't be the pick at number 1. They asked Brandon Beane specifically about the Bears. And he's like, yeah, guys, listen, we all know what's going on at 1. We all know it. The NFL has already reached out to teams and said, hey, listen, we know where this is going, but we just don't want you guys to, outwardly come out and just say,
Set it on McAfee,
keep it under wraps.
Yeah.
Keep it under wraps.
Yeah.
I know Jack was a big fan of that.
We'll all be jacked up and we'll all lose our fucking mind when they wait 10 minutes. They use half the allotted time or 3/4 of the allotted time on draft night, and there'll be people, it's good. They're waiting to announce the haul. They're going down.
Gotta let the talking heads talk.
Pittsburgh's coming up to number 1, and we're getting Justin back in the deal.
Rocking number 2.
I don't know how I'm gonna For
Jeremiah,
me, I know
we know, but Jeremiah, we're just busting your balls, dude.
We're just joking, Jeremiah.
Shame.
We love you, bro. Thank you for put it up there again, Jeremiah Pearson.
Oh,
Jeremiah Pearson. Any relation to Zach Pearson? We haven't seen him in a
third
while.
cousin.
Third?
Yes.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Kissing cousins.
All I'm saying is that I don't know how I'm going to feel. I know we brought it up.
We do have breaking news. Nope, they're not related. Not third cousins.
No.
We have my drop for that. No, we don't. Where is it? There it is.
Nope.
There
Nope's
you go.
got to be in there.
There you go.
Couldn't have got deleted.
Can't remove the nope.
Oh.
Golly, what the hell is going on?
No. Exactly.
That's what we would play if Cynthia Freeland was on the show and made those comments on our airwaves.
Yes. This guy, he called me.
Come on.
47 times.
He wants back in, Jack.
Wants back in.
Oh.
He wanted to know, how much does Jackal make? How much will he make? I swear to God.
He goes,
make the same.
According to my calculations, Jackal is only worth about 7%. Success. Oh wait, no. That was me. I was thinking somebody brought up.
I fucked your mom.
Jesus.
That wasn't you, Jackal. My bad. That was me. I was the 7%.
You were 7.
Yeah,
7%.
That's hilarious if that really came out of his mouth.
Who the fuck cracked that code?
I don't know. Nobody can. There's so many Easter eggs that are being dropped right after Easter. Only certain people know. I think Ryan Cox and Chris Sandlin would know every one of those comments that she just made. Yes. What I was saying is she was talking about the clock and how she's not going to be nervous. For me, even though I know it's him, no shot there, as in the real him, I am going to be nervous in that wait. Will you, Shane?
For pick number 1?
Yes.
Well,
I'll be at ease.
I'll be excited. I'm not going to be nervous. I feel I've made my bed with this a long time ago.
So you won't be nervous. Like, I can't get. Do you get nervous before, like, I know not coming on the show, you don't.
It's probably excitement and anticipation.
Before a game. Yeah. Before a game, do you have nerves?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
No, I'll have that. I'll have that feeling the day before and the day of. Like, I just turned in all my stuff at work, so I'm going to be off from the 25th through the 29th, and it's 100% NFL draft related, which should be a little bit better for us this year because the Bears are going to be done in the 4th round, so we won't be complete zombies.
Oh my God.
Pissing our family's already pissed off all the time anyway. But anyways, you get my point.
Yep.
But yeah. So
I don't know how I'm gonna. There might be emotion. There might be just.
Oh God, that'll be clipped. That'll be clipped everywhere.
I don't know how I'm gonna feel.
Your Mac Jones baby will go to look at this fucking softy crying out here.
Oh, I better try to control it.
Well, if you don't go on, if you hide yourself behind like a icon or something, you could do whatever you want behind.
Just pull out a thing of nail polish and paint your nails live on air.
Did anyone get pissed at that kid from Duke who got the NIL deal for painting his nails? Did you see that? He got he got a ton of money. The kid, the shooting guard for Duke, painted his nails blue and white. ESPN like allotted him for, it was like, this is a great thing. No one shit on that guy. I didn't see that anyway. But
we will be spoiling picks.
Oh yeah, Shane always does it. You ready for this one? Oh, here we go.
Typing it into the comments before it's
I just get nervous every time.
Oh, I'll have nervous anticipation, but I thought you were more so saying that. Am I going to be nervous that they're not going to put his name in?
Oh,
that it's going to be somebody else.
I'll
have the nervous anticipation. Yeah, big time.
Yeah, I get oh
my son's already got in his food order that he wants.
Yeah,
because we used to do a whole. That's what I do miss about the setup and doing what we do now. Before we
we don't even watch it.
Yeah, I have it on mute. Obviously,
I just watch you guys.
I used to have a massive draft party back when the draft. Well, even when they went to prime time, but it used to be Saturday, Sunday. 1, 2, and 3 were on Saturday. 4, 5, 6, and 7 were on Sunday. They used to have a massive draft party Friday night. Everybody would go out and go to dinner and go get drinks, and then we'd come back in the morning, and it was all draft prep. I spent way too much money. Like every person that was at my draft party, I would buy the NFL draft hat for their team. So it was, oh yeah, bro. I went all
out.
Yeah.
I had a couple draft party, but nothing like that.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
We had the picnic in the backyard, the TV outside.
Oh yeah.
It was always like a sunny motherfucking warm day when the draft was on a Saturday.
Yeah.
And I was like, I gotta stay in and watch
it. Are Tate and Dev getting into it more? Like Riley's got all the
totally into it. Dev, he's all
Riley's
excited.
got all of his draft book. He doesn't listen to me, but no, he does. He listens to us break it down, but he's got all of his draft books over there, and he's always reading on them. And like, actually go out and if you're a draft fan, go out and buy Matt Waldman's RSP.
Yes,
it's like 1,200 pages, and it's only the skill positions on offense. It is amazing. It really is. The amount of knowledge and information that he puts in there, and yeah, it's nuts.
He is the best. I love Matt Wald. We're gonna have him on very soon as well. I just gotta schedule him. Big fields. It was 10 last year.
We may have to
10 picks. He meant
get him on a
10 minutes
phone conversation
in between per pick.
Oh, okay. That was it. It used to be 15.
It used to be 15 minutes.
Golly.
I was like, fuck. Do we fucking pick Jets?
Yeah, seriously.
Oh my God. When was the worst disappointment that you had? Was it
mine?
The Moss one when they passed?
I still remember it. I was home from college, and I was watching the drive. I was at my parents' house, and I don't know why. I walked in and I had a roll of duct tape in my hand, and I'm like, they gotta fuck. I was all in on Randy Moss, all completely in, and they announced Curtis Enos, and then it just made me even more sick because I said to myself, I'm like, they not only passed on him, now he's gonna fall to a team where I definitely don't want him. Like I didn't want him to go to Philly, obviously. And then he lands in Minnesota. It's like, I was pissed. I was pissed at the Cade McNown draft. Yeah. I remember that. I remember being very excited about David Terrell falling to the Bears.
Yeah,
2001.
Like that,
that was David Terrell versus Corin Robinson. Those were the two wide receivers. I remember being excited about that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Utah, right?
Is that where he was? NC State, I thought.
NC
like
State.
Yeah.
You're probably right. Same uniform.
Yeah.
In my head. Me, oh my God, the Leonard Floyd draft, I think, is the worst moment for me.
Yeah, just because
fucking thought we were getting Tunsil, and I'm like, motherfuckers are getting a left tackle, the best one. Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm with Truth on this. With the K, I can be me being a Syracuse guy, I can remember that draft. I didn't think Philly was going to go Donovan McNabb and number 2. There was a lot of talk. They booed him. A lot of the fans wanted Ricky Williams, but then the Bears were in position to draft Champ Bailey, and they traded down with Washington. But if you look at some of those draft picks that they got back, they ended up with Roosevelt Colvin was involved. He was one of the guys. I think maybe Marty Booker might have been in that draft.
Did all right in that trade.
But yeah, it was
a good trade down.
When the Bears traded down with Washington. Yeah.
Oh, and
they took Champ Bailey. Yeah, they took Champ Bailey. We traded down and took Cade McNown. But after that point, I wanted
Dante Cole. I wanted Donovan McNabb.
Oh yeah, me too.
That was the guy that I wanted.
That was the other one where I was way off. Was when Dwight Freeney came out. The Bears, so that would have been 2002.
Dwight Freeney, I loved him.
I was positive he was going to fall down. Indy took him at like fucking 10 or 9, whatever. And I was thinking that the Bears had a chance. I'd have been like 27, wherever they were.
Have you ever talked about how you became a Bear? I thought you have.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We did a whole show on that. It was actually, I just was talking to Cap about, because he I forget what he called about, but he was like asking me about, there was a Bulls game on, and he was asking me if I was watching the Bulls. He's like, how did you become a Bulls fan anyway? And I said, it's actually kind of a crazy story. I don't know, Phil, you probably didn't watch the Last Dance.
Oh, I have. I haven't finished it, but I've like on
the whole cocaine circus. So where I grew up, the town I grew up in, Phil knows the story. It's very basketball driven. It's like basketball is everything. They're back-to-back state champs the last 2 years in basketball. Riley's school, where they go, it's all basketball all the time. I went to the same school. Our colors were red, white, and black. And I can remember it was pre-Jordan. There used to be this store called Ames. I remember
Ames.
I know Ames.
Yep.
Ames.
And you know when you're real, so I was born in 76, so it would have been around probably like
Caldor,
83-ish. Right in there, my mom bought me a poster, and her reasoning was because the guy was wearing Hammond Red Devils colors, red, white, and black, and it was a fucking Reggie Theus poster, who was one of the main culprits in the cocaine circus
the Yayo boys
on The Last Dance. So that's how I became a Bulls fan, and then it connected me with the Bears, and then really all hell broke loose after that. We ended up getting MJ and Walter Payton, and the Bears, taking off, and that's my Chicago story.
Came first for you.
Yeah, it was literally right at the same time. Crazy. So it would have been like 7 years old, 7 years old, right in that range. So 83, that's right around everything really kicking off for the Bears. And my Reggie Theus poster, I actually, believe it or not, still have it.
Theus didn't he become an actor or something?
Yeah, he was on a Saturday morning.
Yes.
show. Yeah.
Holy fuck! Yep. I pulled that out of my ass. I totally remember that, dude. It was like a Saturday. I was not a fan of when they started going to like Saved by the Bell type shit.
Oh yeah.
I like the Saturday morning cartoons. And then Saved by the Bell, and there was some other fucking crazy shows they probably tried out before that. Reggie Theus was on that shit on Saturday morning. That's how I remember. I'm like, who is this giant, weird looking guy? Who's announcing the Caleb Williams pick? Kay Johnson.
Oh, it'll be the commissioner.
It'll be the commissioner.
Yeah. Commissioner.
But the guy came out and said, my Chicago Bears. Are they going to have a special?
I don't think so. Not for number one.
No?
No, I don't think so.
No, they haven't done that.
If they did, who would you want if they did have a special person? Who should come out and announce it?
Jared Payton.
Sid Luckman's widow.
Virginia said he had a great ass.
You're replacing my husband. Finally.
Virginia. He goes, well, I was staring at his
Justin Fields.
Talking about Sid Luckman. Oh my God. Yeah, okay. Imagine that. Maybe Virginia. They bring Virginia out there to announce it.
Wheel her out.
Yeah. She can literally say, my Chicago Bears.
Don't you hope part of Caleb, though, because you know he's going to get booed in Detroit, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's going to bring it on.
I would love him just to say, you're going to be booing me a lot worse later.
Yeah, just wait till we get on the field, bro. Yeah. Let's go.
Maybe he'll paint his nails that nice as fuck Detroit. Hammer drop. Oh.
He's just like
oh my God. F Detroit. Oh my God.
I love it.
Is it weird I'm on Google currently looking for Reggie Theus posters?
No,
not at all.
Surprised Jackal didn't do that.
The Sacramento Kings Reggie Theus card right over here. They had the names underneath the number back in the day.
Reggie Theus.
I still have all of my posters from when I was a kid that were on my wall, and that like you could not see.
Hold on. Oliver's saying his dad moved him out of his apartment.
Oh shit.
Gave
what are we talking
dad
about?
I think he's talking about Reggie Theus.
Oh,
Oliver, are you talking about Reggie Theus?
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah,
some
motherfucking Reggie Theus.
But my mother is a.
Did he go on the other show with
Saved by the
I gotta
Family Matters? Family Matters.
I don't know.
Some basketball player came on because they were in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
What are you laughing? You have some?
Just the photo of him in this mink coat that just popped up.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. Family. Yes, it's confirmed. Oliver.
Yeah. My poster it was a.
Take a picture of those.
It was on Hang Time.
Hang Time. That was the name of it. My poster. Reggie Theus poster. It looked like a big basketball card, like a big Topps basketball card.
This is a great.
So
here,
you think about the luck of my mother picking that up, and then the run that I got to enjoy as a Bulls fan.
It changed the course of your life, bro.
Yeah.
For her buying that, my dad changed the course of mine.
Here it
yes,
is right
that's
here.
him. Look,
I just found it.
But
it's
that's him right there.
Anthony Anderson.
Anthony Anderson.
Oh my
young
goodness.
Playing nose guard.
That's Spice Adams.
Dude, what were the posters on your wall? So go ahead.
Oh, I still have them all, and they're all wrapped up. Actually, probably
you do.
Yeah,
wow. I'm so pissed that I don't, bro.
You got rid of all mine. My favorite was the Jordan one. The Jordan one.
Wings.
Yeah.
Yep. I have that. I have a poster from the '85 dunk contest that Dominique Wilkins actually won. Yeah, it's Jordan's got the chain. He's wearing chains in his warm-ups. And
no.
his black and red Jordans that were outlawed. Here's the Reggie Theus that I had that card, but it was a poster.
Okay. A little reverse layup.
The only reason my mom bought it was because my school colors were red, white, and black, just like our uniforms look like Bulls. Yeah, it's crazy.
So here were my posters. I had to unfortunately live with my brother for years, and then I had two brothers. One was a piece of garbage picking on me all the fucking time, who happened to be a Vikings fan of all things. Fran Tarkington or whatever the fuck. So I had I had two walls. I had my two walls, back wall and by my bed wall. So I had Ricky Henderson.
That would have never flown in my house. That was my dad.
I had Walter Payton, two Payton posters. I had Payton, one hand ball running as he's like doing his Walter Payton kick step poster from Sports Illustrated. And then I had a Walter Payton diving over, I believe it's the Eagles. And he was diving over the pile and everyone's underneath and he's fucking way over Seth Joyner or somebody. And he's like just and then I had Run DMC.
I had a Run DMC poster.
Did you?
Yep.
Oh my God.
So what
I would
girls,
give anything
what
to
girl
have,
did you have any girls posters? I had Alyssa Milano.
I had a huge crush on Alyssa Milano.
I had her.
I didn't have her poster.
Sure I did. She was wearing a New Jersey Devils hockey jersey.
Devil.
She's
a devil.
I
wasn't even. I was a Montreal Canadiens fan via my father. And I had somebody trying to think of who else, but I was so move a little bit older. I had Daryl Strawberry.
Yeah.
Poster.
You liked all the Coke guys back in the
when
day.
He went. Oh yeah, exactly. So when he went to
the
LA,
80s, so everyone was on the blow back then. But
Eric Davis when he went to the Dodgers.
Oh my God.
I loved Eric Davis.
Oh, me too.
I rember he was
emulate his batting stance,
Reds, right?
Batting stance and wiffle ball all the time.
Well, I think I had that Walter Payton poster that you're talking about, Phil.
Against the Eagles?
High stepping one or the Eagles?
Eagles one was a pretty popular one. Yeah.
I had a Tom Waddle poster.
Did you?
Yep, Tommy Waddle poster. Yeah, it was from when he made.
I had the Bear reports that I would put up later.
Yeah, oh yeah.
These were the purchase posters. I didn't have
Tom Waddle made the All Madden team. It was an All Madden poster.
Okay,
that's awesome.
Yeah, but I have all that shit. It's like all my posters when I was a kid. They're all in my other office. Yeah, well, this isn't my
You have
office.
the Run DMC one?
Yep.
I'll buy it off of you.
Yeah, I have it in there.
Put it up in my. I've been looking for one.
Shayne
they
had
such a big influence on my life. My brother had Farrah Fawcett on his Farrah Fawcett.
A poster of an attractive person owned by a teen guy is known as a tug target. Yeah, there you go. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, Alyssa Milano got a fucking workout in my room, boy. I'll tell you that.
I'm sure she did.
Yeah.
A tug.
She was. Yeah.
Never heard of that before.
Oh, I just found that poster that I had of her too. By the way,
that's awesome.
Alyssa Milano. I had the Janet Jackson. I had Janet.
Ooh, Janet.
The one when the guy was behind her covered. She liked that.
In complete darkness, we are all the same. It's only our knowledge and wisdom that separates us. Don't let your eyes deceive you. Do you remember that? Janet Jackson.
Janet Jackson.
Yeah. Remember that?
Are you reading that right now?
No, he remembers that.
God damn, smartest
man.
That's
a lyric, right?
Yeah. Well, it was, yeah.
She says
what song was that?
It was from what was her one album? It was like, what the hell? It was the numbers. Was it like 1814 or something?
Yeah,
like that?
it was a number album. There she is.
You're holding the stick with the devil's shirt on.
I was holding something else.
Yeah, exactly. She's telling you what to do right there. She's like, go ahead, Shane. It's the devil telling you.
Yeah, what posters did you guys have? There's 792 of you right now.
I used to take Sports Illustrated and just cut out the pictures, and I would just make collages.
I could see you, Mr. Fucking.
Oh, I had an Alonzo Spellman poster also. Alonzo Spellman.
Had an Alonzo Spellman poster?
Really wild posters.
Oh my God.
I was a big fan of Alonzo Spellman coming out of Ohio State. Yeah.
I remember reading the article and the writer talking about how he took bales of hay and threw it 11 feet up into the top of the hay barn as his summer workouts. And they have a picture of him in this article, and it's legit. Like, he's just lifting a barrel of hay and throwing it. And I'm like, oh my motherfucking God. Look at the size of this guy. C. Spags had the 82 Italy World Cup poster.
Oh, what the fuck?
Is that Claudio?
Claudio will buy that one off, yeah.
Claudio.
There was no soccer posters in my house, I'll tell you that. This dude had Brian Bosworth's poster.
I could see that.
Brett. I knew a lot of people that loved
everybody loved the Boz. Yeah.
Shaved the lines in their heads, painted it or dyed it red. Remember Dante Jones came on talking about him.
Yeah. He was on all the signs back in the day.
I had this poster as well.
Oh yeah, Junkyard Dogs and
Junkyard Dogs. Thank you, Robert. That was when all the Bears were.
There was a store in the mall where you could buy music, and then they had posters.
Prince Plus.
Yeah,
Prince Plus, bro, in the mall, bro. I went to Prince Plus and got all. Did you have Chicago Vice? I had that poster.
Yeah.
With
how much do you think that poster is right now?
Jim McMahon.
Yeah.
I totally had that poster.
Wasn't one of them holding an Uzi or something?
Yeah, they had some sort of props on them. Can you pull up the Chicago Vice poster?
Yeah,
I'm looking at that, dude. Posters aren't cheap, man. Shane, you got some money in your closet. God,
I went looking for a Run DMC poster. It's fucking tough to find it.
What are you
Jennifer Love Hewitt. Oh my God, I'm totally with you there.
And she got
I had such a crush on that girl.
And she had some surgery, and
she did.
Oh yeah,
she became top heavy real quick. Dr. Ed's.
What did he call it? Tug what?
Tug Target.
Tug Target. Yeah, yeah, so the Miami
Chicago
Vice. Yeah, Jim is holding an Uzi, but it's super blurry.
That's right. I do remember that.
Jackal of that.
What's that? Chicago Vice?
Yes. I had that poster. It literally, my brother had a cutoff line in our room, and my poster could go to the middle. I still see Walter running with high stepping. Right next to that was the Chicago Vice, Run DMC next to it. There it is. Walter and Jim, Chicago Vice. That was a good poster, man.
I had the Michael Jordan one with the
Don
ruler.
Johnson.
Oh, he's got a gun tucked under his jacket. All right.
Yeah,
he has the Glock.
And he's holding one too, right?
Oh yeah, no, in his right hand. No, you're okay.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
my bad. How do I do that? Oops, my bad.
How do you get to his right hand?
Yeah, you can see it
right there.
Yeah, right there.
Oh, he's got some.
Oh,
he's got that shit from Cobra that Sylvester Stallone had on Cobra with the fucking laser sight on it.
Look at that golden
Remember that movie, Cobra?
This is the squirt gun in the back. You could see the.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Cocaine and then
Jim McMahon. We haven't had this kind of attitude at quarterback since McMahon. That get that.
I have my Michael Jordan Wheaties box also, by the way, from back in the day when he was on the Wheaties box. But I have all.
I have the Wheaties box still.
I have all of the Sports Illustrateds for every year of the Bulls runs.
Okay.
The playoffs, all of them in a box.
Really?
Stuffed away. Yep.
This dude sent me the Walter Payton on the cover of the Sports Illustrated.
I have the Bears.
Which box do you have?
I have the Bears Super Bowl Sports Illustrated original.
Truth Speaks has the Urlacher. I remember that one too.
Yeah, the takeoff from the Michael Jordan wings.
Exactly.
Yep.
Shane.
Cobra. Oh, you don't remember that movie?
Cobra with Stallone, right?
Stallone, yeah.
Oh my God. My brother watched it like 500 times.
It's better than Rocky 3.
Rambo.
Dude, someone just bought a signed autographed Wheaties box on Pristine Auction just now for like $235. I thought it'd be more expensive.
Walter?
Yeah, Walter Payton.
Damn.
Jeez.
$235.75.
I had 4 Walter Payton rookie cards. Stupid Phil brings them to college in his book of Bear. I put all my Bears cards together in a. Someone fucking stole them. I'm like, biggest regret of my life is the moment I did that. Like, why did I do that? Why didn't I just leave them at home? Motherfucker, I think I know who did it.
I just found my first ever Michael Jordan poster that I had when I was a kid.
Yeah.
For Riley.
Yeah. It's just putting it up here. It's got the Chicago script jerseys on it.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that's sweet.
Yeah.
That was my first one.
His dick hanging out of his shorts. Fucking Christ.
Yeah, I'll have to.
No tug targets.
Yeah, Mike, don't look. Me and Alyssa need some private time, Chief.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. The crushes we had. Crushes. My first crush was from what's her name from fucking Three's Company. That was my first.
The blonde.
Yeah, the blonde.
Away.
Chrissy.
What's her name? What was her name?
Suzanne Summers.
Thank you. Thigh Master.
Didn't she just like die? Didn't she just pass away like last summer?
I think so. It was like recently.
That was my first like crush on an older person as a kid.
You liked Winnie Cooper on the Wonder Years.
Oh yeah.
That was you? Your first?
When I was a teen, I was young when that came out. I was like, oh, Winnie Cooper. I always liked her when I was growing up. Little
Claudia loved Henry Fonda. Claudia loved Henry Fonda from On Golden Pond.
He's like, I love that Sophia.
Claudia loves Roberto Baggio from Italia.
Hey, choked in the World Cup.
Oh shit! Yeah, I just found
Samantha
another one.
Fox.
I had the Michael Jordan Mars Blackman poster.
Yes,
remember that?
I had that.
Samantha Fox.
Yep, sitting on the rim.
Nobody. Yep.
We just watched.
Who was hotter?
With the kids.
What were their names from Gilligan's Island? It was Ginger and
that was before my time.
Really?
Yeah, Gilligan's Island.
That shit.
My dad used to.
I know what it is, but I
saw
never
the reruns all the time.
I can remember like
I never saw it live.
Ginger.
Telling my mother that I was sick.
Ginger, right?
You couldn't get out of bed, if you were sick, and I remember like Leave It to Beaver reruns were on.
And Mary Ann. Mary Ann or Ginger? Thank you guys. Mary Ann or Ginger?
Nathan's
I can't remember which one was which.
Nathan's trying to force some football talk back into the. I agree with Nathan. I see.
I don't see stiffness. I see a demolition man. Perfect timing.
All right, let's wrap this up. I didn't realize it was 11:30.
11:30. We had a lot of fun tonight with the great Courtney Cronin. Is she in your top 5?
Posters?
She on the
tug targets? What are you doing, dude? Kids, come on, man. Jesus Christ.
That's a guest on the show, Jack.
Oh, she's in my
100%.
Mount Rushmore. Yeah, 100%.
I'm asking the fans to leave it in the chat. Who's your top 5 guests here. Who do you want us to bring on? Jackals tug targets.
That fucking comment got me, man. That shit's hilarious.
Sheri left early.
Yeah.
Everybody who donated tonight, thank you so much. Honestly, from the bottom of my heart, we're up to 6,770. Andre Zapata and Lawrence Chrisman, James Perdzinski, the last three.
Nice job, everybody.
I'm gonna have to have some tug targets on that.
Top 5 tug targets.
top. That'll be the next show. Top 5 tug targets, Olin.
Oh, yes, that was awesome.
Oh my God!
I can't wait to see you at work, man. That's the first thing.
Tip jar. Adam Jenkins with the tip jar. Shane with a good night. Ian Rappaport reporting. Bears dinner. Caleb brought some players with him. They're hanging out again today.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's very significant that DJ Moore was there.
Yep.
DJ Moore in the house because they're saying, hey, you need to meet this guy and talk. And that's really good. And Courtney Cronin was really good. Thank you, Courtney. Have a safe flight. Thank you, Mr. Funkster Jones. Well, I'll thank you in a second. Thank you, Jackal, for helping to produce, stepping up. All of you fans that have said so many nice things. Anthony P, cutting tape with Ivan. Tomorrow night, we are going to break down the centers, Van Pran and what's his name? Jackson Powers Johnson. Those two guys on our Patreon. I am going away next week, so I will not be here. Shane's going to have a surprise guest or two on next Keepin' It 100. And we'll keep you posted on all things Chicago Bears as they happen. I'm going to leave you with I produced this after the fact, but our guy, is he in the Mount Rushmore of TTNL fans, Shane? Larry Funkster Jones?
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Where's
our guy Eugene Koch? I haven't gotten anything from him at 3 a.m.
Shit. Where is he?
I was thinking about him the other day. I'm like,
is he a part of the
my Instagram
Justin Fields page turners?
Jeez.
I hope not.
Well, you control what you see, Phil.
You only control what you see. Yeah, I missed that. Anyway, you have something before we leave, Jackal? You seem to be typing or poster shopping. What are you doing?
Putting in my top. No, I'm kidding. I was just typing this little note here. Don't forget tomorrow night, getting into the centers breakdown on Patreon.
There you go. Tomorrow night.
Do you have a thumbnail for that, by the way?
No, I gotta make it.
So
I'll make it in the morning.
So you can.
I can set it up.
There.
Yeah.
There you.
Okay.
Look at you. Look at you.
Me. Look at me.
Teamwork makes the dream work, kid.
Kids growing up.
Look at that. Growing up.
We will be growing up, and
I love balls.
Well, who's growing up?
I'm sure Sheri is loving balls. We will see you guys next week. No, not me. Shane, have a blast. Jackal, a lot of fun tonight. This is Larry Funkster Jones talking about TTNL. If you want to jump on the show, make sure you're a patron. We got some surprises coming up.
Keeping it 100. Yeah. What's happening? What's happening, Bear mates? What's up? Funkster here. Larry Vernon Funkster Jones here. And I'm repping TTNL, the Tape Never Lies Network. But I want to let you all know the views that I have are not their views. They're my views and my own opinion. But I rep them because I love them. DDP, Draft Dr. Phil, brother. Shane the Smartest Man, my brother. Claudio the Barber, Chris Jackal, Lady Bear, Sheri, Ivan. Man, everybody associated, my man Chris Jackal, everybody associated with TTNL, the Tape Never Lies Network. The best in Chicago Bears coverage. On and cracking. None other like it. I'm telling you, it's the best. Woo! The draft time's coming up. They're going to have the draft coverage for you. Man, nobody breaks it down like
around here.
Draft Dr. Phil and Shayne, the smartest man. Doing it. And Patreon. The Patreon channel. The Patreon channel. $7 a month. Man, stats, facts, X's and O's. The breakdowns of quarterback, breakdowns of the running back, breakdowns of just the team members. Just breaking it down. The Tape Never Lies Network. Join today. Patreon, $7 a month. Be the best $7 of bear money you could ever spend. And I think it's time to upgrade my gear. It's time to upgrade my gear, so we'll be doing that next week. Upgrade my gear for the new year. Woo! Caleb Williams, baby. Caleb Williams. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Caleb Williams, come on to Chicago. Make us a winner, baby. I know you can do it. Oh! Yes! TTNL, the Tape Never Lies Network. Larry Burner, Funkster Jones. Repping the best in the business. Just keeping it 100. Yo!